Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of great laws. Blessings of the hopeful and sincere, coming to the end sooner rather than later, man. Our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. Romans 13 and 11. And signs are there, man. The testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And we're seeing the signs in the heavens, man. All kind of spectacular works of the Lord. The other day, the Lord hit them fucking gooks over there in Vietnam or wherever it was, with that 8 point something off the Richter magnitude earthquake. Shook them fucking Filipinos over there, tore up their land, so to speak. And it's funny because where I go, a lot of Filipino nurses and that. These fucking gooks, some of them are gooks, some of them are actually jakes as well. You know, like one particular nurse, male, his name is Jesse. He's an old cat, elderly cat, but his name is Jesse. When he told me that, I was like, it's some old ass Jake. This looks like a gook, man. And a lot of them, they are Jakes, but, you know, they think they're gooks, some of them. And some of them are gooks. But that just shows you, because they had that proud pomps, stereotype attitude towards Jake, they think they're better than Jake, innit? Yeah. So the Lord humble them fucking Filipinos over there, man. The Lord's humbling these nations right now because their time of rulership, their time of claiming the earth as their own, ruling over the children of Israel is coming to an end. And our time of rulership is about to begin, you know. Better is the ending of a thing than the beginning thereof, man. You know, and Esau's at his end, man. He's on his last tippy toes in regarding to the 10 toes in Daniel's the second chapter, NATO and the EU, you know, and there's all kinds of uproars going on right now around the four winds. You know, you had this goop situation showing you that there's a two-tier system around the whole beast system. It's basically systematic oppression for Jake, because you got this gook that got exonerated for shooting down a little child, a young Jake, that didn't even steal nothing from his store, man. And apparently he has a record of harassing Jakes in their own neighborhood, man. And then he had some other, I don't know if it was his wife or whatever, or one of his group relatives came on a TikTok live saying, why aren't you Jakes coming to the store? You blacks this and you blacks that. Because basically Jakes boycotting buying stuff from their store. And so they should. Because your ass is in the ghettos selling us nothing but poisons and benefiting off our downfall, man. You know, going to Luke the 16th chapter regarding Lazarus and the rich man, and you other nations represent the dogs eating the crumbs off the table, man. That represents you Gooks, you other nations, you Hamites, you Arabs. You know, everywhere Jake is, you got all these other nations benefiting off our downfall, man. In the ghettos, in the favelas, they set up shop, set up businesses, selling us poison, selling us rat chow mein in your damn Chinese stores and all of that, cow chow mein and bird nest soup and all of these different abominations, and making money off of us. And then when we don't want to buy nothing from the store anymore, you want to call us niggas. But the time of somebody gets Psalms 2 and 1, the time of your rulership over us is coming to an end, man, because you're imagining a vain thing. The Lord will set you other nations to rule over his chosen children of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to the end of time. We only serve the punishment because we broke the Lord's statutes and commandments, that we was going to be ruled over our oppressors, ruled over by our oppressors for a short space of time. But that time's come to an end, man. Esau's new world order, all these endeavors, it's all futile, man. It's all going to be short-lived. Because when he's about to fill his belly, the Lord's going to rain terror and destruction upon his whole beast system, man. And that's going to be the end of his society, man. End of his rulership. End of DJ Trump. And then, you know. So go ahead, Psalm 2 and 1.
I got that. This is Psalms chapter 2 and verse 1.
Yeah.
Why do the heathen rage?
Yeah, why do the heathen rage, man? Because as I said, they're eating off the crumbs of the table of the rich man, which rich man represents who? Esau, Edom. You had Bishop Nate, IUIC, saying the rich man represents wicked Jakes, and the poor man represents wicked Jakes. Like, you out of your fucking mind. How are you the rich man when they're eating sumptuously? Unless you're talking about yourself, them delicacies you're eating, because you're living the good life. You took the bag. You know, you got a lot of sellouts amongst our people like Deacon Akar, they were trying to live the good life. He even said it in his song, you can serve the Most High and live a good life. And if you try and approach me, we got sticks at camp. That's what he was saying. He was preaching that prosperity doctrine. I got my G-Wagon and all that. Yeah. He's pushing the facade, man. Not knowing that he leased it off his wife's bank account. Or leased it through his wife's bank account. Basically hustling his own woman to get a fucking G-Wagon. He didn't hustle to make that money to buy that. He didn't work 9 to 5 to get that money, to buy that car. But he puts the persona on like you can be in this truth and live a good, good lifestyle, decadent lifestyle. That's being settled in your lease. The Lord said you can't do that, man. That's serving two masters. What did the Lord say to the rich man? Sell all you have and follow me. The rich man couldn't do it, man. He got complacent. He was like, no, I can't do it. He was double-minded, you know. Yeah, he gave offerings and all that, but when the Lord said, sell all you have and come and follow me, he was like, I can't do that, man. You know, they live in that P. Diddy lifestyle, basically, in the ancient world. Big mansion and all that. Probably had his own personal harem. All these things, you know, all these earthly gifts and earthly things. Material wealth, you know, investments. And that's what Jake thinks going to make them, high and almighty in society. But to earn those things, you have to be wicked. You have to basically compromise compromise yourself to gain all the so-called benefits of being in society. It tells you that in 1 Timothy 6 and 10, man. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Look what Deacon Akar was doing for the love of money. He was willing to sell the Lord short, sell out his whole name, change up the whole doctrine because of the love of money, man. Is the root of all evil. He loved money more than he loved Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his truth and the flock. He was benefiting from getting money from the flock, but he loved the money that he was getting more than he loved serving Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's why the Lord got rid of his ass, man, because he was a highly. Him and Assad, and there's many others, man. And now we're coming to the time where the Lord's about to show who's serving him, or keep showing who's serving him and who's serving him not, when they declare that mandate in the RFIDC hip, the MOT to the B. Once that comes into play, we're going to see who's really been faking the funk and who's really been pushing the word in its sincerity and truth. And I guarantee it's going to start from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that's been pushing 100% truth for the spirit in Karpadash. You know? So, can we read this one?
Yep. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Yeah, the heathens imagine a vain thing. These gooks, man. Because as I said, you got this gook that got exonerated for killing that Jake. Innocent, innocent Jake, man. He thought he stole something, but he didn't. And he left the store, and this gook got so fucking, demented in his brain, got so possessed by Satan that he just followed the Jake and decided to shoot him down, man. Like they show you in them hood movies like Dogly and Menace and all that, when he goes into the store and then he goes through the door and it says nigger. As soon as they open the door, it goes nigger. Yeah. And they go looking around like he heard something. When they hit the doorbell, they go through the store, it says niggas.
Yeah. Now hurry up and buy, yeah.
Going through the store, hurry up and buy.
You break, you buy.
Hurry up and buy. Ice cream and all that. Hurry up and buy. And then he said, you should be ashamed of your mother, or your mother should be ashamed of you. Yeah. And he's like, what did you see about my mother?
That was it, yeah. Can't mention Jake's mom, man.
You know, niggas gonna play it off as well. So he's doing the bogle and all that. He's doing the, doing the stanky leg and all that, shooting and all that. You know, Jake likes to exaggerate the thing.
Yeah.
Jake likes to be the jest of everything, especially the Wayne brothers, man. But that new scary movie, that's getting bad criticism anyway. Everyone's saying that full shit. Scary movies, whatever. That whole scary movie thing played out anyway, man. The Wayans brothers, they're a bunch of sellouts anyway. They've been sold out before white chicks.
Yeah, innit.
But anyway, back to the main point. These heathens, they despise Jake, and that's why they put it in the movies. Because it paints a narrative that basically you can't. I just walked past the Duke just now. I was walking past her, this old lady with a little shopping buggy, whatever. But the way she was walking, like to say she didn't even want to look my way. It was just me and her. So yeah. I just noticed that energy.
Pride.
Like it's that same energy, man. She don't know me from an ounce of paint, man. She don't know me from a hole in the wall. But she sees a black person, just immediately just goes into fight or flight mode. Yeah. Like just like short, like she's like She's just all of a sudden in torment and all that in her soul. Like she don't know what's gonna happen to me. Like, come on, man, that's bullshit. If anything, we should be afraid of you. You devils, you heathens, you're the ones that's been oppressing us, poisoning us with your damn food and all of that. We ain't doing nothing to you. We ain't out here bombing your schools and buildings and all that. That's the so-called white man. That's BB in there.
Yeah, I can say as well, because I seen recently as well, like not too long ago. This was recent, man, but they had, I think it was in China or Japan, one of them like countries. But basically, they were selling these dolls, and it's basically like Jake dolls,
Yeah, of course.
so-called black dolls, yeah.
Bodyguards and all that.
Yeah, but they were like stress dolls or something like that, where you can like squeeze them when like they're stressed and that.
To stress out on Jake.
Yeah, and they were selling that, and they were getting like backlash on that and stuff like that on the media. I think it was
Sold out
China.
the first day.
Yeah, and they were saying, but that shows you their hatred for Jake, man.
Hatred, man.
You know that all that evil thoughts they have towards Jake. Why would you sell a doll like that where you're stressed? You gotta squeeze them black dolls, man. So called black.
Shows you that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know, there's even there's a washing detergent advert where they throw a fucking Jake in a washing machine.
yeah.
And it comes out looking like a goop. I'm like, oh, like you can't even.
Yeah, it shows you that segregation.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be segregated anyway. You know, the Lord separated us from early, man. In Deuteronomy 32. He said that, you're going to have this land, Moab's going to be over here, Ammon's going to be over there. We're all supposed to be banding together in some melting pot. The Lord doesn't want us to be all together in no melting pot. Because that breeds confusion. Because the gods of the nation are all idols, man. They have all these different idols that they worship. They do heathenistic things, keep heathen customs. That's why the Lord got pissed off when we started dealing with their women. And it weren't for the fact that we was dealing with their women taking their daughters. It was the fact that we was taking their daughters and they started worshipping their gods. That's what the whole thing with Genesis 6 chapter was. And the Nephilim and all that, and the Nephilim, the fallen ones. It wasn't the fact that, Nehemiah as well, it wasn't the fact that we were sleeping with their women, because we're allowed to have other women. King Solomon had 1,000 women, there was nothing wrong with that. But it's what he did in keeping those women. He started worshipping their gods. The Lord didn't say he couldn't have as many wives as he wanted. He could have as many wives as he wanted. He could have more than 1,000 if he wanted to. But what he was doing behind that, he started worshipping and building monasteries and false idols, altars to their gods, man. Started doing that witchcraft on the left-hand side. Started seeking out all the inventions of man, basically, which goes into witchcraft and the left hand. And that's what they do. The other nations, they don't have a god. They don't have a power to worship. That's why they're called wanderers. They're called the vagabonds, the heathens, because they just go around doing whatever they can. They don't have a power that they're supposed to bow down to and worship. They worship the earth. They worship the sun, the moon, the stars, anything that's created. They worship a fish in the water, man. Dagon, the fish god. They actually worship a fish as a god. Dagon. I'm not making this shit up, man. It's in the Roman Catholics today. They're a bunch of fish god worshippers, man. The Pope worships a fucking big ass tilapia on his head with the mouth gaping open. That's a fish.
Yeah.
In the ancient world, they actually used to put a fish hat on their head and do blood sacrifices and all that, man. Yeah. That's what the Pope is doing right now when he wears that stupid hat on his head. They're exonerating all these false idols. They're worshipping Jupiter. They worship the planets. Jupiter, Mars, all this shit. They worship everything in creation except Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. I told you that in Romans, man. Romans the first chapter, if someone can get it.
Yeah. Even the days of the
Worship the Creator rather than the creation.
Yeah.
Get that real quick. And that's why we're not supposed to follow. Lord said, follow not the way of the heathen. And this, the reason why the Lord gave us law, statutes, and commandments is that's supposed to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations, to show them how to rule and how to stay in order. How to be righteous, man. How to be in balance with the earth. And giving credence and reverence to the Creator. He created these things, man. Not the creation. You're not supposed to be worshipping bugs and all of that, man. Ancient Egyptians, they was worshipping animals and all that. Jackals and all of these things. Jackal, you got a man half man, and you got a jackal's head on his head. Worshipping the sun god Ra and all that. That's this BS. This is why the Lord disdained us from following the way of the heathen, and he disdained us from dealing with their women, because we would, not just fall in love with them, but we start worshipping their gods, man, which is going off. That pissed the Lord off, because he's a jealous power. It says, I'm a jealous power. You shall serve no other power before Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, or but Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's one of the top commandments, man. So you've got,
Yeah. Romans, the first chapter, I'll start from 24.
yeah.
Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up unto uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
Yeah, and this is wicked Jakes, man. In Rome. This is what Paul was writing letters to Jakes in Rome. He weren't writing to the Edomites in Rome. He didn't give a fuck about Caesar and them, man. Romans and centurions and all that. Unless they were Jakes that was coming back to convert, like Cornelius or something like that. Because he had a lot of Jakes that was in part of the Roman Praetorian Guard and all of that, man. A lot of Jakes was in a lot of Jakes are police today. Same type of setup. You know? What are they, centurions or paddy rollers, whatever you want to call them? Police. A lot of Jakes was in the armies and all that. They was fighting for the enemy, or with the enemy, you know, or for the enemy. So that's nothing new. So Paul was speaking to the Jakes in Rome, and they was doing all kinds of odious works of witchcraft and sacrificing unto these false idols and committing all kinds of sadistic sex ritual acts, man. Homosexuality, sodomism and all that, lesbianism. The same shit you got today, man. Why is it so all of a sudden Israel, Tel Aviv, the biggest, known as the biggest, rainbow capital in the whole of the Europe? Why is that? Because it's wicked ass people, wicked ass Jakes and wicked ass heathens that's over there, mainly heathens anyway, that are celebrating that, man. But that's what Jake was doing in the time of Rome. He was following the Roman way, the Greek way. When in Rome do as the Romans do. Go ahead up.
Oh. It says, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the creator.
Yeah, these other nations, they worship the creature more than the creation. The creature more than the creator. That created the creature, man. Which is going off. Going off, man. So that's why the Lord got pissed off with us, man. And he gave up our people to them unclean spirits, man. And started jacking their asses up. But through Paul and the apostles and other apostles, the Lord had mercy on certain Jakes and will pull them out of that lifestyle, man. That's what goes into the whole reawakening, the Gentiles that was in a Gentile state of mind, being reawoken back to this truth, the conversion, Shawab, and the Hebrew means convert. Proselytes coming back to this truth. Go ahead.
It says, we worship and turn into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Sorry, move a bit. Sorry.
For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto
Sorry.
vile affections, for even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature.
Yeah, man. So the Israelite women like today, they like to, deal with the other, deal with each other, same sex and all of
Carpet
that.
munchers.
Yeah, carpet munchers and all of that. They was doing that in the ancient world, man, and then the men were doing the same thing, which is breeds nothing but breeds nothing but disease and corruption, man. So that's why the Lord was getting ready to kill 2/3 of our people, because they're doing that shit all over again, man. When it comes to the whole rainbow society and all that, they use Jake as the main advertisement for that, man. And Jake's with it, because they like to live that lascivious lifestyle. That's why you got the peg master, Pegatron, that got exposed. So-called chief, high priest, Alazar. He was living that lifestyle. He was a peg master, man. Pegatron, and then he was a cock at the same time. Like, he likes watching his woman, like Diddy, he likes watching his woman getting smashed by another dude. He was on that Diddy shit, man. So that shows you how people have always been in that, always, easy to follow that wicked lifestyle, man. Even in the truth. Like, even these false pastors in the Christian church, a lot of them are a bunch of freaks, man. A lot of them are a bunch of fruits and nuts. A lot of them are like, raping little boys, raping the choir boys in their churches and all that, molesting children, committing adultery with other men's women and all of that. But a lot of them are, go float to the other side, but float to the, backdooria basically. A lot of them pastors and all of that, man. So that's nothing new. But once again, these heathens, that's what they are. That's why they need to be ruled over. We're not supposed to be ruling with them. They're supposed to be ruled over with the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's exactly what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Because it says in Isaiah 2, these other nations are going to come up saying, let's go up to the mountain of Israel, representing the government, and follow their ways, basically. Learn their ways. Follow their commandments, man. And then that's how the earth is going to be ruled.
Yep.
In order. Put back in order, man. There ain't going to be no more gods of the other nations when Yahweh Shai returns, man. All that shit's going to be done away with. The Lord said when he comes, he's going to smite all the standing and graven images, man. All the Cesare Borgia images and artifacts, all that's getting destroyed. All your Buddhas, all your fucking all them idols that these people renovate and worship, all the Egyptian gods, all that shit's getting terminated on sight, man. You know? All that shit's getting burnt down, man, by the nuclear fire and by the laser beams of the chariots when Yahweh Shai returns, because he's going to be the only power through the Heavenly Father that everyone's going to reverence and worship. And if you don't, you're going to get destroyed, man.
Precept.
Go ahead.
This is Psalms 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Yeah, the other nations don't know Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and rightfully so. So all this talk about Esau can receive salvation is null and void, man. It's BS. Because these Christians, these wacky-tacky Christians, fight tooth and nail to find a way to find salvation for the other nations. But really, they want salvation for Esau, Edom. But there's no salvation for Esau, man. He's a perpetual nation of descendants of disaster, man. And the Lord's going to perpetually hate that nation for the rest of time, man. The Lord said, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The people of the Lord's curse. So he's never going to, turn aside to Esau and give him repentance and all of that, and give him a chance of making it in the kingdom. No way. These devils got hell to pay, man.
Yeah. If I can say this point as well, because whenever because you've seen it as well. Whenever people would come to the camp and they look at the sign, the 12 tribe sign, they'll always try and take up for Esau, man. They'll never say, oh, what about the so-called Chinese or the so-called Somalians. So you know what I'm saying? And so the thing is that they're always taking up for the people who are most in power, man. When you look at it today, honestly, someone that's looking, who is the one that's on top of all the nations? If you're honest, you would say that's the so-called white man. He's the one putting sanctions on nations. But what do you find? You'll see these people always trying to get him salvation, but he's in his salvation right now. Yeah. If you want to speak of it like that, he's the one ruling over the earth. He's got his blessing. He's got the fatness of the earth when you go in Genesis. But but that shows you that they have these people subjects, man, unto them, because they know who's ruling over the earth. They know who's got the power. So that's all them doing is bootlicking. They're kissing us.
That's it. Luke 16. The rich man and the poor man, Lazarus and the rich man, man. That's exactly what's going on. And that's why we're saying that these heathens, they're ever reputed as being nothing, because the Lord regards them as being spittle, man. Less than spittle. Dropping from a bucket. A vessel like dropping from a bucket, a vessel of water, a drop that dropping from a bucket. The Lord regards them less than that, man. Like, you're nothing, you're meaningless to the Most High. All you are is extra characters in the Lord's movie, man. Them extra NPCs that are just hanging around in the game and all that, in the game console, the ones that are just there, just to fill in the void, man. That's who you other nations are. You're not no one special. You're not the chosen of the Lord. You all have your specific roles and parts to play. So when you gooks are all proud and pumped, that's why the Lord will send fucking tornadoes and earthquakes to shake up your lands and tear your whole islands up, man. Just to remind you that you're base, man. You're beneath. You're not the chosen of the Lord. And you ain't next to rule either, man. You gooks are going into slavery with Esau. Yeah. I can't personally wait, man, because I've got some, revenge I want to get on certain gooks as well, man. That are on my hit list. Everyone got their personal hit list of people you want to get in the kingdom or before the kingdom comes, man. If the Lord allows. And a lot of them are like on my hit list are fucking the heathen nations, man. Specifically, man. You damn gooks, man. Some of you Arabs as well, Ishmael and all that, Elam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of you gonna get fucked up, man. And in the kingdom, you ain't gonna have a fighting chance, man. All you nations are going down. All you nations are gonna be subdued and subjected and put under the rulership of Yahweh Shai and his elect, man. And you ain't gonna have shit to say about it, man, or can do anything about it. We ain't gonna have no nuclear power, nuclear capabilities, or no standing army, no million-man army and all of that. And even if you did, they'll get destroyed anyway because we have spiritual power. We're gonna be gods. We're gonna get a spiritual upgrade above all the humans on the earth, being an Israelite part of the elect. So it's gonna be totally impossible for our nation to rise up and take us down. Even one Jake, they won't even be able to take down a baby Jake. You know, even that one baby Jake be like strong as Superman, call out and tear up your whole society, man. You know, just like one angel can destroy this whole earth. We're angels too, in human form. So these nations, and I told you that in what was it? I just had it in my head. Psalms. It might come back to me. So you carry on reading.
I got a scripture here.
That sun is so fucking.
Yeah, scorching. This is Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. It says,
Turn the camera though, because that shit is burning.
yeah. Right, this is Psalms 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
So like I say, the world was created for our sake, and that's the thing that a lot of people just don't want to accept. This is Yahshua Allah's world, man, under Yahweh Shai and ultimately the Heavenly Father. These other nations ain't got a claim to this, man. Really and truly, without Israel being on the earth, and I don't mean those Israelites, I'm talking about the real Israelites of the Bible. The whole earth in existence is purposeless, man. The whole earth is created so that we can be fruitful, multiply, and ultimately rule over these heathen, man, and have them following our ways, you know? Go on, bro.
Oh, so if I could just add as well to your point, because basically, you know, these other nations, they basically wish they were us. They're the ones that actually have that jealousy, man. They actually envy the children of Israel, man. That's why you have them small hats running around claiming to be us.
And even if you look at it, when you look at literature, the most popular book in global literature is the Bible, because everybody's trying to understand, like, essentially, man, the secrets behind this book.
Yeah.
But it's only given onto the nation of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3. The 2/3 of our people don't even want to know the mysteries that apply to them. But all these other nations, whether it be the Moabites, the Ammonites, especially, of course, the Edomites, they want to know, man. You know, that's why even the Lord said in Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, that if he had sent us to a nation of another tongue, that they didn't even understand what we were saying, they'd pay more attention. Because regardless of whether you go to Moab land, Ammon land, even all these nations that worship heathen gods, the Bible is still the #1 selling book because people want to know the mysteries.
Because it's the truth. The Bible only speaks the truth, man. There is no other book. None shall want her meat, man.
Yeah.
There is no contendant. When it comes to truth and prophecies, especially the prophecies of the Lord, there is no contestant, man. The prophecies that we're speaking about are coming to pass, come to pass and coming to pass as we speak right now and getting ready to come to pass. Like the whole mark of the beast system. That's only prophesied in the Bible. There ain't no other book that prophesies about the mark of the beast. You know? These other nations don't understand it. They probably think it's an actual animal. You know, because the understanding of the scripture is not given to the wicked. So said the wicked shall not understand. And that's why, like you said, the only nation that can understand this truth is the elect of Israel, because the Lord's only dealing with Israelites, man. He's not dealing with these other nations. You just read it in Psalms. He's not dealt so with the other nations, man. He doesn't know them. As I said, ever been reputed as being nothing. Right now, we're just in our captivity. We're coming to the end of that, where these other nations are above us. But soon, the Lord's going to flip the switch, and there's going to be a trade in the places, man. And that's why Psalms 2:1, when the Lord said He's going to give us the heathen to rule over, it's going to come to play. And that's going to start when Yahweh Shai returns, man. When Yahweh Shai returns in them chariots, so-called UFOs, man, that's it, man. It's lights out, shut down. Everything's shut down. All these nations, their power, that power streak that they had and all that, all their so-called inventions for the future, all that shit's going to be null and void, man. Esau's New World Order and all that shit's going to get unraveled and destroyed by the nuclear missiles, man. America's going to be set on fire by ICBMs, man. And we can see that shit playing out. Right now, you've got the talks back and forth with Trump again and Iran and so-called peace talks. But then behind closed doors, there's really no peace, man. They really want to go. They really want to go. Bust heads. They really want to, go at each other's throats, and they're going to do it because that's the prophecy, man. The will of the Lord is that America's going to be totally annihilated by fire, man. That's the will and the purpose of America, Babylon the Great, being on the earth right now. The Lord's going to set an example of what not to do, what happens to the wicked when they, omit the scriptures and disobey the commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai. Since you wanted to, take on, the pledge to yourself, so to speak. Since you wanted to pledge to be the people of the Lord, you're going to have to deal with the judgments now, man. Because you didn't attain to none of the commandments, man. You said that you was a God-fearing country, but a bunch of you, the whole setup, the whole beast system, they're a bunch of Satanists, man. They don't worship Yahweh Shem Shai, they worship Satan. So they're a bunch of hypocrites, man. And the Lord said the hypocrites shall be burnt with fire. So they're gonna get a taste of their own medicine, man. Because they've been going around the earth, colonizing, pillaging, robbing people of their resources. Now it's gonna happen to them, and no one's gonna come to their aid. So I told you that in Isaiah 14. That no one's gonna come to their aid. Basically, no one's gonna help them, or in their downfall. Because everyone's had enough of this devil, man. I just did a sit down last night, saying that out of all the G7 nations, America's like one of the worst, and the people are basically impoverished to the point of no return. It's just getting worse and worse. What does the scripture say? When the wicked bear fall, the people mourn, man. People are just outraged, upset. This is why all this racial tension is building. People have had enough. And that civil war is about to break out. It could be a hot summer, man. Because you've got all these sleeper cells that Esau's waking up right now doing psyops and shit. All of a sudden there's this mass stabbings and everywhere, and around the UK as well, there's this mass stabbings going on. All around the UK all of a sudden. Little white girls are getting stabbed up by so-called immigrants, And then you got these Edomites going from door to door, knocking down immigrants' doors, telling them to get out of the country and all that. Breaking into their houses, telling them to move out of the country, setting fires, that riotous, seditious type behavior. And that's what the civil war and civil unrest is going to be like, man. These Edomites going to be that, in gangs, coalition type gangs, and walking down the street, breaking down people's doors, harassing people, harassing old folks and young folks. If you're of a different colour, a different hue than them, even though some of them could be Jakes as well. Up in Northern Ireland, Belfast, they was having a hell of a riot for the past couple of days, man. Burning shit down and all that, burning down their neighbourhoods, all because some Edomite chick, so-called Edomite chick, got stabbed by an immigrant, man. Or a Sudanese guy tried to behead a guy in the middle of the damn street, So the people were going to riot and go crazy. We had this situation with this, who's it, Novak, what his name is?
Yeah, he's
Henry Novak. They're trying to use that as a psyop to stir up the people as well. And then over there in America, we had a Carmelo Anthony situation where he started to kill that Edomite, and they put him under the prison, man. But that Gook got exonerated, and he's been known for having a record of hatred amongst Jakes towards Jake, and he actually got his his weapon and killed a Jake, man. Killed him, an innocent Jake, innocent bystander, so to speak, and he got exonerated, man. He didn't even see no jail time, man. So that told you that spirit of sedition and uproars of the people is growing more and more, and that civil war is going to break out sooner than you think, man. Civil unrest, man. And Esau's going to use that as a ruse to bring forth his new world order at chaos. Especially when there's going to be more famines coming to pass as well, when there's going to be a lack of resources. That's going to stir up the people even more. Because people are complaining about the fact the cost of living is too high, they can't afford shit, and they're still getting increased taxes and all this, bills skyrocketing up charts and all that, having to pay for things, and they can't afford it. They can't afford a so-called normal life, a decent lifestyle, even the middle class, no more, Like, it's just total, it doesn't even make sense. But that's what these devils want. They want confusion, they want people in hysteria, they want people in that pandemonium type spirit. Like, have all these demons activated so they can push all this, disorder, chaos, seditious, riotous behavior, man, Bring forth the martial law. Yeah. That's exactly what they want to do next. Bring forth mass martial law, man. Turn this place into a prison society. That's why they got all them data centers, and they're getting ready to push out their chip, so they can track and trace everyone on the earth. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another and swords in their hands.
Yeah, man. You was quote that Joker quote and all that. You know.
And the shits are down.
Yeah.
You'll eat trouble, man. Civilized people. So
Yeah.
cool.
So they're gonna go from civilized to uncivilized real quick.
Yeah,
Like GMSLondonCentral2 say, when people have nothing left to lose, they lose it, man. People are actually losing it, man. They're doing all them TikTok videos, you know, speaking out how outrageous and ranting, basically, giving their little rants of how fed up they are with society. They can't take it no more. They want Trump out of office. They want to just, you know, put people to death. They want to attack black people now. You know, so-called black people are the problem of society now. All of a sudden. But that's what Esau wants. He wants to stir up that chaos. He wants that chaos in society so he can bring forth that order of chaos, man. You know, the martial law, you know, push the Insurrection Act. And once the Insurrection Act comes into play, that's, you know, all bets is off. Jake's just going to be getting laid out. The police are going to be taking Jake's out. The average persons are going to be trying to fight to take Jake's out as well. And that's when Jake's going to have to, you know, stand up and start fighting back. It talks about the Micah 5 and 7. Jake's going to be like young lions amongst the midst of the sheep of the field, man, you know. And they say it's going to get violent out here like never before, man. It's going to get crazy. But that's what we expect in these last days, man. That's part of the necessary evils. And we're patiently waiting, you know, getting our minds in tune for that to happen, man. Because that's what's getting ready to happen in a way. You know, go ahead.
2nd Ezra 15:14. Woe meaning destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. You know, the sword could be a mixture of the modern day gun to bombs to biological weapons, all sorts of armaments. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you're gonna have race wars, you're gonna have class wars as well. You're gonna have people that are literally just fighting each other over clans. You're even gonna have people like, even with like all the shit happening over there in America right now with the tribalism around this World Cup as well. They're banning people from coming from certain countries. You got like Iran, yeah. You got people attacking each other because of what sports team they support. It's all going down. It says,
but that's like the perfect scenario to push that vibration of, you know, riotous behavior. Isaiah 19th chapter tells you it's going to be nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, man. Or Luke 21 says that. You know, go ahead.
it says for this, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. But there shall be sedition among men, basically ill feeling. People are gonna like basically be in that state of permanent survival mode, and as a result of that, they're gonna fuck each other up, man, and do evil to one another. It says, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, so the politicians are not going to be taken in high regard. Like over here in the UK, we got this guy called Keir Starmer that's supposed to be the leader of the Labour government, and Labour was traditionally set up to help the working man. Now they're getting their funding straight from the small hats, and they're doing nothing but ultimately, man, powering a small group of the elite, man, through every decision that they're making, and fucking everyone up. So people are gonna basically say fuck the leaders and the politicians, but that's not just here, that's everywhere. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people's desire is going to actually come to pass. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Blockades and all of that. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled.
Yeah, but that's going into the smart cities as well. Esau's slow. That's why he's getting these data centers into play, because they're slowly but surely setting up the grids, surveillance grids for these smart cities, man. That's why they got these mass data centers all around the four winds of the earth, so they can track and trace people in their little small, perimeters, man. That they're going to set up these grids, these districts. They're going to set up different districts for people to live in, and basically smart cities. And the only way you're going to gain access into those cities is if you've got that biometric device. If you haven't got one, then you can't get into the city. And you can't use your chip to go into another person's district either, because it's only going to be permitted into that so-called parameter where you live. So if you try to go outside that parameter and try to go over to another place to get some items or whatever, or try and get into a city to hide or whatever, you're probably going to get, you're not going to be able to gain entry. You're going to get refused. You know, just like a border control. But this is going to be digital. You know, they're going to have AI doing the border controlling. So they'll be able to see your chip straight away, analyze your retina, all these different things, and just, you know, identify you before you even step foot across the border, man. You know, to show you in that in the minority report. That's why it's called the Internet of Things, where they have everything electronically connected through the internet. All type of identification and programs and Palantir and all these different data systems, all running by AI, and AI being the big boss, basically controlling and watching everyone through their computers, cameras and computer screens, man. That's what they want. So that's going to be the part where, you know, you should desire to want to go into a city and not be able. And also, if they set like more biological weapons out there and set up quarantine zones, you ain't going to be able to get into no city. They're going to blockade it. You won't even be able to get out. Certain cities are going to become so bad. Like, imagine Iraq is turning on itself and turning into a whole war zone. These soldiers just block Jake in there and make them kill themselves off. They show you that in the movies, man. When they want to just kill off a certain sect of people, they just block the routes. They block all the bridges and the roads outside of it, so they can't get out of the city. So they're just in there, taking each other out, and then, you know, the cleanup crew will come in, the martial law troops will come and clean them up after. You know, that's exactly what Esau's getting ready to do. There's going to be a gridlock surveillance population, man. Total population control through biometrics and AI. That's what these devils want, man. That's what they've been salivating for the past how many hundreds of years. And now they got the technology to do it. You know, the minds. They said that the sword has been sharpened and furbished, and it says knowledge shall be increased. Now they got the perfect technology, sophisticated technology to do it. Back in the ancient world, they didn't have it back then. All they can do is do census by registrations back then. In the ancient world, 2,000 years ago, you have to register, come and pay your taxes to the taxman and all that, the publicans. And now they got computers doing all that. That's why you're receiving letters in the post, you know, electronically and all of that, man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be even that much worse when they totally be able to see what's going in your account and coming out at a drop of a dime. As soon as the money enters your account, they'll be able to deduct and do whatever they have to do, calculations, and, you know, you're left with crumbs, basically, man. Basically like a modern day UBI, social security number system. That's basically what it is. And they can cut off your money, they can cut off your spending, they can restrict you in what you can buy, you know, or expire your money at a certain date if you don't use it. There ain't gonna be no savings when they set up this new world order. Ain't gonna be no savings accounts and all that, because they're gonna give you a specific time to use those credits in your biometric chip. And if you don't use it, they probably just deduct it, man.
Second Esdras 15 and 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Yeah, remember Carl Schwab said, you owe nothing can be happy. You know? So people are gonna get crazy, people are gonna go lose their marbles, man. And this is gonna be the final end result, is that they're gonna, you know, when their backs are put against the wall, they're gonna have to turn to Esau to get that chip.
For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yeah, so it's gonna be so careless and heartless out here. Like they showed you with them Belfast riots, man. You see a gang of people, Edomites, going from door to door, just kicking down people's doors. You don't even know the person, just kicking down their door, saying, get out of the country and all that. You don't even know who's in there.
Yeah.
You just heard that there's immigrants in there, you're just kicking down people's doors. That's how it's going to be. But this time it's going to be for the lack of bread. So they're going to be raiding through people's, running through people, your neighbor's house, all of that, trying to get them resources, man. And if they see a daughter or whatever lying around, and she's, you know, up for the grabs,
forget it.
up for the takings, they're going to grab her, man, because the police, they're going to be able to get to every situation. The police are going to be too busy trying to deal with major situations in the city, man. You know, so they're going to be too spread thin to deal with every investigation, man, of criminal activity. They're going to be too spread thin, and they're going to have to deal with their own shit as well. Because in that time, you know, when these gangs get together, they're going to have weapons and armory. So if a gang of police try to come into the neighborhood, they might just, you know, shoot back. They might fight back, fight them off. That's why Esau's going to have to militarize the police.
Yeah.
Because the actual normal police, these the security guard type police, you know, the ones that are the community police, they ain't gonna be able to do shit. They ain't gonna be able to hem up people, stop them from committing, you know, crimes and all of that, robbing stores and all that. Them community type police and police that don't have weapons and that, they're gonna have to arm their police, man, because it's gonna get that violent out here. And then apparently in Northern Ireland, you're allowed to carry weapons, man. So you know they're gonna be carrying big armory, double barrel shotties, sawn-off shotties, handguns, AR-15s, whatever they can get their hands on. They're allowed legally to have guns in Northern Ireland. That's the only part of the UK where you're legally allowed to have guns. You have to have a license. That's why that Belfast situation kicked off all of a sudden over there in Belfast. So imagine if they started shooting people, shooting down the immigrants. That riot would be continuous. You know, that would have set off a whole different type of civil war movement in the UK, and that's gonna come. Guaranteed, it's gonna happen, man. You know, and that vibration was spreading around. I think something was happening in Scotland as well. Different parts of the UK. It was pushing that vibration of what happened in Belfast to try and replicate what happened in 2011 with the London riots and that, man. But it didn't. It's basically calmed down right now, but it's gonna rouse back up again. It's gonna rouse back up, man. In America, you forget it, man. Once they get into, you know, that civil unrest and, you know, taking Jake out and taking each other out, they already, you know, they've got their Second Amendment rights over there, so it's just gonna be the wild, wild west over there in America. You know, America's not the place to be in these last days, man. Vocab Malone, he should have found a little place abroad, a little flat or something, a little apartment somewhere in Europe, and so he can escape the nuclear fire that's going to engulf of America, man. Because you don't want to be in America in these last days. America's going to get put on fire. But the Lord's purposely going to make the guys like Vocab and any part of the other nations that, you know, are going to be destroyed, the 2/3 of our people, to stay over there to get hit with those nuclear flames, man. So, yeah, you got something.
Yeah, I got more. It says in verse 19, 2nd Esdras 15, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You know?
Yeah, they're going to have no mercy. Like they showed you with that woman, that Somalian woman.
Yeah.
They said that, like, they was onto her, man. They was treating her like she was scum of the earth. So-called, all of a sudden, this so-called dark-skinned immigrants that they come in, they're not the Arabs or, you know, or the Polish or anything like that. They're immigrants too, but they're specifically concentrating on the dark-skinned Somalians, Sudanese, anyone that's got colour in their skin. They look at you like you're one of those people now, you're an immigrant. What are you doing here, kind of thing? Because Esau's pushing that vibration of Jacob v Esau, or Ham, them Hamites, basically black v white, so to speak.
Yep.
Even though all nations are dark-skinned, apart from the Edomites, man.
Exactly, yeah. You could have been born in this country, you could have the red passport, you could have been a citizen.
You know what I'm saying?
That don't matter to them, that's
Don't
just
matter.
over their head.
If you look like a so-called black man, even though that guy's Sudanese that tried to behead that guy, some heathen, original Egyptian and all that, Luke Bolt type looking heathen, they're gonna lump you up in the same bucket with that heathen because you look the same colour, you got the same colour skin, or with a Somalian because she's got dark skin. We ain't no fucking Somalians, man. We ain't no Ethiopians out here. But they're gonna put us all together in one lump, saying we're immigrants too. Even though, we got nativity of this land, we were born in this land. We got more citizen rights than certain other heathens in this land. You know. But they're gonna look at us like we're part of the problem too. That's where that racial tension is gonna build, man. It's gonna culminate. Someone get Luke 21, Micah 5 and 7 as well, and Isaiah 19, man.
I got Michael.
Go ahead. So it's gonna get to the point where the Lord gonna rouse Jacob, because it says that Judah's like a lion's whelp, like a young lion's couching down, unresponsive, ain't roused up, just bare, lackadaisical, something like,
Docile.
huh?
No, so he's docile. Like
Docile like my man in Wizard of Oz. The lion, man, he's bare weak.
Yeah.
Bare morbid. And
courage.
No courage, and he lacked courage.
Yeah.
He's moving like a simp, basically, man. Like he lost his mane or something. So the Lord had to rouse his spirit up. That's what the Lord don't do to us. Well, Jake's 2/3 anyway. These YNs. Because a lot of you YNs, you got using all your energy to attack each other, stabbing each other. All these TikTok videos of this guy want to chef, this guy want to chef. Like you need to take that energy and use it against the real enemy, man. Take that energy and go against Esau, Edom, and these other nations, these dukes, and all of that, man. That's who you should use that energy for, not your own people. Jake got all the energy in the world outside in the parking lot, just chasing man around the whole parking lot like it's a rat race, man, with a knife in his hands.
Yeah.
No bare energy, no ounce of tiredness and nothing. Use all that energy to fight the real enemy, man. All you YMBs, man.
Jake want to fight outside McDonald's, all these nigger spots. They got all the energy.
Trying to kill each other. Instead of trying to kill the actual enemy, man, that put you in the situation we're in. Put you in the damn ghettos, man. Where you have to be getting benefits from the damn government. We ain't even got no more youth centres no more. They shut your shit down. Back in the day when we was young, we always used to have youth centres. Adventure playground right across the road from my house. You have all kinds of swings and playground for Jakes, man. You can play pool, snooker, all these different things, activities. They shut all that shit down, man.
Cages, football.
Youth centres and all of that. But Jake was being inventive, creating music. You know, you find talent in those places as well. Bigger fish and all that. Remember bigger fish? Makers. Going to every college and fucking youth centre. Recruit Jakes. Who's the next star and all that. Bigger fish. They ain't got no more bigger fish no more. Remember them youth centres, man? So everyone used to link up at the youth centres. Gal, bare man spitting, smoking weed, being niggas. Now I see videos of even old ass Jakes. I saw a Loaded Lux video. Not to go off the point, but these are some old ass Jakes, like all 50, 60 years old, older. They're all hanging outside the fucking store, man. Crazy. In Harlem, man. I'm like, bro, how old are you, man? You're in the 60s. Talk about, I'm so on the black and all that. Bro, you're old as fuck, bro. Man's granddad and all that. Still wearing, like, tracksuits and all that, trying to act like you're still young, man. Old as hell. What are you doing on the street corners, man? Crazy. Take your ass home, man. You know?
Yeah. Come on, man.
This is how people are going to be in the corners. Hell, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shai.
This is Micah, chapter 5 and 7, and the remnant of Jacob. It says, Micah 5 and 7, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai.
So it's coming to that time where the Lord's going to set the stage. Well, he's setting the stage now. That's why you're having all these TikTok videos. You got people talking about the black people, this, black people that. All of a sudden, black people are a problem now in society. You know, all these Edomites are just out doing that TikTok social media shit is basically for people to rant about how much they hate people, hate each other. It's basically set up to this cause bare separation, segregation, man, and uproars of the people, which is, we're supposed to be segregated anyway, as I said. But it's to push that narrative of, racism and hatred and, narcissism and all of that. You got these Edomite women talking shit because they can't do it in front of your face, so they get in front of a camera at home and start singing nigger songs and all that. Saying nigger this and nigger that and all that, making songs and they're making fun of Jake. Well, because they're behind the camera screen and they can't, there's no one to attack them. Instead of doing this, they wouldn't dare.
No.
So people's true intentions is the true heart, the true intentions and what they're thinking about from day to day is coming out in that social media, man. So it's going to come a time where we're going to be in the streets, not us specifically, but Jakes, young YMBs and all of that, like they are in their gangs and all that. And these Edomites are going to be in their gangs. And they're going to be a clash of heads, clash of the titans, man. They're going to be bumping heads going at it, man. Ain't going to be no, let bygones be bygones type of thing no more. Keep the peace. It's going to be like, fuck you. I'm taking your life. I'm taking everything you've got. You know what I'm saying? Kill or be killed, basically. Survival of the fittest. Society's going to totally collapse. Imagine there was a big blackout. They're saying there might be a blackout. There's going to be a major black swan event. We don't know which one it is, but it's going to lead to economic collapse where they're going to reboot the system anyway. We know that much. One way or another, they're going to reset the system, the Great Reset, as they're calling it. You had this whole fucking World Cup, ceremony. And every time they do an Olympic ceremony or World Cup, you already know it's all Masonic, ritualistic, satanic worship, blood sacrifices. And when you watch that World Cup one, it's all seeing eye shit, all worshipping of different goddesses and all of that, renovating different goddesses, blood worship, blood sacrifices. And then they put perversion of sexual perversion in there as well with the rainbow shit. So they're showing you what time it is, man. And apparently you had one football player who was throwing up the Masonic sign, the compass and the compass and the circle and the square, whatever. Yeah. He was throwing it up as a celebration from scoring the goal. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Why would you throw up a compass and who does that? They're showing you that all that football shit, all these sports and all these athletes, they're all compromised, man. Yep. They're all bought and paid for, man. They're all part of the game. They all have to play their part, basically, man.
That's it.
Because that football, man, that shit is like a religion, man. People are willing to kill each other for that fucking football. You see how they was going crazy for the basketball? The Knicks.
The Knicks, they were rushing the San Antonio Spurs fans. They grabbed one guy, they fucked him up.
They was fucking anyone with a uniform, anyone with a t-shirt with Spurs on it, they was going for your ass, man. It was on you, like rats. Like, they was going crazy in New York, man.
That New York energy, man.
Taking it to heart, man.
Those New York cockroaches, man. Those shit, they come out of the sewers. They do everything.
We knew it was going to happen anyway. They were trying to make it like they won the first game, and I already knew that the Knicks was going to lose, and that Jake was going to react like that. Because Esau knows, he made sure that they lost that game. He made sure that he gave them a false hope of winning, so they can lose and go crazy in the streets. Because Esau wants chaos. Esau wants chaos in society, man. You don't want people to band together and come together as one. Even the dogs intrigue, man. Running out about 10 tribes, 12 tribes. I stuck my toe on that, but it's all good.
We always get Caleb, man, loyal. We always get them dogs coming. I remember one for South, we had dogs coming to show with the camp the description.
Innit? All he needed was a garment, man. Told him post. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Like, the Esau knows how to rouse up the people, man. That's why I said they do a diligent search. He knows how to rouse up Jake, man. Get them on the edge and all that. Especially with his sports, because Jake live and die for fucking sports, man, and entertainment. Yeah. Crying over some basketball team that don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, right now, Jake are in America spending their mortgage money
for the World Cup.
For the World Cup.
Idiots.
The World Cup. Well, they're selling water, a bottle of water for £6.
Probably even more now.
They're selling beers for
Inflation gonna go up, yeah. Inflation gonna go up, man.
Insane.
That shows you it's basically history repeating itself. There's no new thing under the sun. Because in ancient Rome, you had what? When the Caesars wanted to distract the people, you would throw, open up the stadiums, open up the Colosseums. Despite, the city was basically burning, politically or socially, decay.
Circuses, innit?
What do they call it? Decadence, all that stuff was going on. But just throw on games and bread and circus, distract the people. That's what's going on today.
Yeah, that's what Jake always fall for the okie doke, man.
Yeah.
Any form of entertainment, Jake will fall for it, man. Because Jake just want to, have fun, And it was in that spirit of mirth. But in the scriptures it says, should we then make mirth? The sword has been sharpened, the enemy's about to come for your ass. So it says, should we then make mirth, man? Should be in the spirit of, folly, trying to enjoy society and enjoy life. When all that shit's coming to an end. All hell's about to break loose. Showing the mindset of our people. That's why the Lord knows Jake. The Lord knows how Jake are. Because he knows Jake is complacent and it was all hell. And the 2/3, no matter what happens, they're not going to return unto the Lord, man. So they're going to go through hell, man. They're going to go, and Micah 5:7 tells you that too.
Yeah, I got that.
Go ahead.
It says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as the dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep, who if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver.
Yeah, so that's going to be the time of great uproar, civil unrest, which we're coming into now, man. And more of these sort of psyops that keep happening, Esau, awakening these sleeper cells, and all these false flags keep happening, these stabbings and attacks, so-called immigrant attacks that are happening. All of a sudden, white girls are getting stabbed unnecessarily in the middle of the damn street, just walking along and you're just getting stabbed. like all that psyop shit is gonna lead to this civil war, man. Because these Edomites are just, like, they want to make, because of the guys like Tommy Robinson and that, pushing that spirit of make Britain great again. You know, make Britain great again. You know, like America wants to make America great again. So that's building up that racial tension. They want to take Britain back.
Yeah,
know?
mega.
Yeah.
Make England great again. I seen a guy with a hat like that recently in London, man.
Yeah. And they're going to keep having these so-called protests, organized protests, where they're going to be banding in the droves, thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in central London. But it's going to get to a point where the protests are going to be like, it's not enough. Now we need to go to war, you know? And that's why they got guys like Shields, like Tommy Robertson, man, because he's a straight-up Zionist. He's been hired by the wicked elite to push that vibration, man, to rouse up the nations, man, to rouse up these Edomites, you know, for that time. So it's coming, man. It's definitely not unavoidable, just like World War III is unavoidable. You just got to be prepared mentally for it. I mean, talking about the brethren, because we're not going to be out there on the foot, or the boots on the ground, so to speak, you know, front line, so to speak. But we're going to be watching it take place. So we got to prepare ourselves mentally for what's coming, because this is going into the final phase of Esau establishing his new world order, man. When they make that shit mandatory, that's when the Lord's going to be with us, be with his elect, you know.
Yep. It says, thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off.
Yeah, so Jake's gonna get taken out for the most part, but then the Lord's gonna flip the switch a little bit, and Jake's gonna start getting the upper hand. Jake's gonna start remembering themselves, man, remembering their nature, remembering that we're the true chosen people of the Lord, and that we're more superior than these other nations, man. And they're gonna enforce that. They're gonna show that through their actions, you know, through that violence, man. That we're superior to these other nations, man. We're gonna start taking these Edomites and these other nations out, these Gooks, all of that. We're gonna start wiping them out, man. And then, you know, obviously through you know, the mark of the beast being set up, then the nuclear destruction, and when Yahweh shall return, then we can fully enforce the law, statutes, and commandments with the elect. Because we're going to be in those new superhuman bodies, ruling the earth in righteousness, man. You know? So we're going to restore the order, the right way. But yeah, man, it's going to be a hell of... That's why you have to be prepared mentally, as I said, circumspect. You also be vigilant, man, you know? Be circumspect, man, because we're in some seditious times, man, you know? And Jacob's trouble was not going to be no walk in the park. Jake is literally getting ready to catch some untimely hell, and not just physically, like not just by men as well, but also the Lord said he's got beasts out there ready to do the job as well, to wipe people out. Specific beasts that are going to be unleashed on these people out here as well in these last days, you know, getting torn up.
Ezekiel 7:3. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. And that's even to the wicked of our people, man, the ones that flee down into Egypt for help, that think that, you know, I think that ultimately Esau Edom's ways are going to benefit them. You got to understand, this kingdom was built to eventually be destroyed, man. This is not a perpetual kingdom. By trusting in Esau Edom and his ways, you're putting your trust in man, over Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. That's a lack of faith. And you know what the Lord thinks about those that lack faith, man. It says, and mine eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense upon thee, thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee. And you shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because the Heavenly Father has the power to forgive sins and also to bound individuals within those sins, man. And Yahweh Shai was given that power, and he gave that power onto his elect. So when, for example, in the Gospels, he was speaking to his apostles, he told them, man, you know, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, forgive sins, basically to proclaim that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. But there was individuals that were wicked and from old ordained to the condemnation, man, of this judgment, who ultimately, the Lord ain't gonna forget it. Like, none of us are perfect. The difference between the elect is we're giving a sincere effort, with the elect, is we're giving a sincere effort, you know, and ultimately the Lord has forgiven our sins, Yahweh, Shema, Shai, Razah, we're of that number. But the rest of the nation of Israel, man, they gonna die, man. Because all of us deserve death, but the elect have been pardoned, man. Verse 4, and my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity. But I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Jehovah. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah power, and evil, and only evil behold is come. So nothing but darkness, man, and bad times, lamentations, mourning and woe, as is written within the scriptures, and it's described, man, as what's on its way for 2/3 of our people. This is an extremely bad time. Right now, we're in June, like coming towards the end of June. In July, everything in terms of what's happening in that Middle East conflict is really going to be felt. Everything's going to shoot up in price. Your food's going to shoot up in price, energy costs, everything. Then we're going to get into the autumn period, and eventually the dead of winter, man.
Oh man, yeah.
This winter, it's going to be fucking hell, man.
Crazy.
Every year upon year upon year upon year, as far back as you can remember, it gets worse every year. And what these elites are doing is that gradualism that we always speak about. They just crank up the notch a little bit more. You know, it's like a frog in boiling water. Like, you know, you know it's hot, and you know, you might lift your leg up like, oh shit, it's scorching. But it's not a drastic enough change for you to just jump out the water. Because if from 2008 they did what they're doing today, back then, people will be rioting in the streets to death. But ultimately, they've cranked it up slowly but surely. You had the CV, you had Brexit before that, you had, you know, all of these different opportunities for them to fuck people up some more. And eventually, man, they're going to crash the system so bad that the chip is going to be the only answer, the logical answer. But we're looking for the spiritual one, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You got something?
Yeah, I've got something for you. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Yeah, I mean, like, you ain't got to be a fucking scientist to know that once metal oxidizes, it rusts. That's just normal, like 101 chemistry, man. Like, at the end of the day, Esau Edom was created to be the wicked. You can put him in a church. You can dress him in a three-piece suit. You can throw a garment on Esau Edom. You can anoint his head. You can do everything you want. You can literally, it's similar to like, you know, like Benjamin, Jamaicans, they jerk everything. You know, Jamaicans will put their best jerk sauce on pork and say, yeah, man, bless it up. You know what I mean? Doing all of that, but it's still fucking, you can do whatever you want with Esau Edom. He's still a motherfucking devil, man, no matter how you cut it or slice it. So the same way that metal oxidize and rust and get old, Edomites, no matter what you do, you can invite to your house, you can bring them in for afternoon tea, you can hug, you can heal their mother, their mother could be on terminal illness, and you could save their family, and they will still fucking come up against you because it's just their nature, man. Go on, bro.
Yep. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Oh yeah, man, you know, Iraq, they got weapons of mass destruction. They, you know, Iran, there's a nuclear threat. They could launch a missile to hit America any day now. And then you got that devil Netanyahu. For years, Iran is 3 weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
2 weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. Oh man, they could have one by tomorrow. And that was going on for years and years and years and years and years. Eventually, they just got up in there, then they started smoking Lebanon as well. All of a sudden now, yeah, you know, the hospitals, the Hezbollah strong points. Oh, Hamas is hiding in the tunnels. Oh shit, Turkey's the next target. Turkey's a threat to the state of Israel. Yo, these devils, man, basically pretty much, man, playing on the stupidity of the people, just feeding you bread and circuses, and ultimately moving through gradualism. But the time is, through the internet, everyone can see that Esau Edom ain't nothing but a fucking piece of shit, man. Go on, bro.
That's it, yeah. I got something else. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, we ain't ignorant of the way that these devils move, man. At the end of the day, Esau Edom, like we've been saying, ain't nothing but a motherfucking devil, man. He's out here using democracy as a ruse to basically spread wickedness. He's out here, ultimately, man, using his feminism to try and get the women up against the men. He's out here, ultimately, man, pretty much spreading that alphabet gangism. I had some woman from my workplace told me she got summoned to do jury service, and she told me it was an SA case. Yeah, I'm thinking, cool, man. It's gonna be a man and a woman. Woman come back to me. She's like, yeah, it's two men. Two men, and like one man was stalking the other one, and then he ended the victim allegedly blacked out, and then my man and it's Fed as well that was the alleged assaulter, and he just run up on my man and just messed up his internal organs, bro,
This
on
is
some
crazy.
SA, and I'm like, yo, like, like the whole world is, and I gotta sit there in front of it. I can't even react to like, oh, this is. I gotta be like, oh shit, okay,
Madness.
like,
Yeah,
absolute madness, bro, absolute madness. And it just goes to show this is the world that we live in. Now, guess what? I guarantee you that copper that committed the SA, he's probably locked up enough jakes, probably locked up other people for the same sort of shit.
Yeah.
And then he's up there,
Corrupt cops, man.
yo. And that's why, hey man, there's time to come.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all out anarchy, man. Because you're gonna have people like victims or so-called people, so-called criminals,
revenge,
wanting revenge against individuals like that, man.
That's why, when the prison houses are open and some of them get free, they're gonna remember what's happened to them in jail, and if they can find where their CEO lived or where the certain officers are at,
Yeah, the
they're
judge.
gonna pay them a visit, man. Yeah, certain judges. Like I'm watching Cape Fear right now, the series from the old school movie with Robert De Niro, old school movie that one of his best movies, Cape Fear. They turned it into a TV series, and it's about basically, an Edomite, so-called Edomite, that got put in jail for falsely accused of killing his wife. Well, I think he actually did it, but they basically fucked up his case, so he went to basically nearly serve a life sentence. Like, but he got released, and then his whole thing is to get the judge and the prosecutor that fucked him up, fuck up their whole family, split them up and do divisive shit to just fuck them up. First attack, he had made one of their sons cut off their toes. Some psychotic. He's like one of them psychotic, manipulative type serial killers, isn't it? So he works on the mind, does all that, witchcraft for the left-hand side to make people do basically self-harm.
It's that Saw, that reminds me of that movie Saw, like Jigsaw. And
So Cape Fear, so it's on the third series, third episode, whatever, fourth episode. We're showing you like that's the spirit of man. If they want to get vengeance from a prosecutor or a judge that did them wrong, gave them an unlawful sentence, and they got freed, they're gonna, if they have the spirits on them, they're gonna go lurking, man. And that spirit of death the death angel is gonna be active. They're activated already, but it's gonna be even more pronounced, in the time of Jacob's trouble.
Yep.
That's why I always mention the word pandemonium. Which the word pan means all, and demon means demons, man. So pandemonium is gonna be on the streets, total chaos and lawlessness, man. So certain jakes or whatever prisoners that get let out early, they're gonna be looking for people's daughters. They're gonna be going out there just doing what they have to do, man. Because they're gonna be still in that prison type mindset. That PTSD type mindset is gonna be on them of rage and fight or flight mode. So they're just gonna be committing all kinds of crimes, man. They ain't gonna be able to let that shit go just because they've been freed. Just like letting a caged animal loose out of the cage for the first time. He's just gonna be hysterical around low because he's fighting for his life, so-called fighting because he was in fear to protect himself. So it's gonna be fucking crazy out here, man. It's gonna get dark and very soon, man. Aberratas are that blackout does happen because in the midst of a blackout, let's just say it could last for more than a couple of weeks to a month. In America, man, that's when you're gonna see the total vibration and atmosphere of America just to change overnight. It's gonna turn into Gotham City, Arkham City, and all that shit, man. People just gonna be committing crimes all up and down the street, committing murders. Police are just gonna be more corrupt than ever. It's gonna get nasty out here, man.
Reset.
Yeah.
This is Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Iniquity is abounding right now. The love of many is definitely waxing cold. You've seen it, man. All these news breaking news and all that, of all these attacks that are happening. People are turning cold upon each other, man. They're not regarding old and young. In that time, Ezekiel 9 and 4, we all said he's going to make the angels possess people, and they're not going to regard the old and young, man. They're just going to be committing crimes up and down the city, man. And as you said, for the majority of the time, it's going to be for the lack of resources, for the lack of bread. You rob your next door neighbor, You find out they've got a whole cupboard full of, stack loads of prepping of material, prepping foods. And you find out they've got a little stash. And the next door neighbor will come and hunt that shit down in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. They ain't gonna be neighbors in that day. He told you that in the Apocrypha. Friends shall become enemies, man. There ain't gonna be no such thing as a neighbor in that day. Your next door neighbor is gonna become your worst enemy, man. Especially if they got weapons. Which we said, America, certain states, the red states and all that, they got the Second Amendment rights to carry guns legally, man. So places like Dallas and all them places, the West Coast. I don't think the West Coast can carry guns legally, but Dallas and all those places you can carry guns legally. The Bible Belt as well. It's gonna get bloody. And even as I was just looking at my timeline and all that, because Canada the other day pronounced that there's gonna be a Bible ban. Anyone that's speaking scriptures, quoting scriptures over there in Canada, they're gonna be arrested. So that Bible ban's coming to all four corners of the earth, mainly America and the beast system, UK, all of that. There's going to be a Bible ban. And once that Bible ban comes into play, that's the famine of the word. And once the famine of the word isn't really enforced, that means the men of the Lord are not going to be in the highways and hedges. That's when all hell will be breaking loose. So we're that close, we're that much closer, man. The door's opening right there. The doors of mercy are slowly but surely closing, because the Lord's about to wrap this place up. And the doors of judgment are getting kicked wide open, getting ready to be kicked wide open. That's where you get Daniel's 12, Jeremiah 30 and 7, and various other precepts, man. It's gonna get fucking mad out here. You can only put in so much words, but actually living through it, man, it's gonna be something else. It's like you're gonna be living through a fucking, that's alright. Living through a, what's that term? Yeah, like a horror movie, but I was gonna say in a certain, I messed up the word. But it's gonna get fucking bad. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be the worst horror movie you ever saw in your life or experienced.
Yeah, man. Even a lot of our people are getting humbled in a minute, bro. Like Isaiah 4:1 is a real thing. Like obviously, we always go into the fact that you're gonna get a lot of women hollering at brothers, but there's also gonna be a lot of women get turfed, man.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of proud women, man. Like right now in this current state of affairs in the West, there's certain women that are just out here getting jet flown out to different places, jet setting. Men that got money to waste. When the shit gets real and then men have to make the decision to choose themselves over some bitch, bro.
A lot of men are doing that now. A lot of women are complaining because they're realizing men ain't spending their money on them no more. And that Captain Save the Whole Spirit as well is coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
Like men ain't coming to women's aid no more. If they're in a fight or whatever argument, men ain't coming to protect them or stop something from happening. They're gonna have to fend for themselves, man. Because you women think you're all big, bad, and independent, baddies as you like to call yourself. So we will see how bad you are in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. And I guarantee you ain't gonna be no baddie in that day. You're gonna be screaming like a banshee, in the middle of the damn street, looking for help.
Yeah.
I just put up another video from Destro Reborn, because I like his videos. He's always going into these women in the time of Jacob's trouble and all that, basically, Isaiah 4:1. So he must know he's a Jake, because he's always quoting Isaiah 4th chapter, saying 7 women should take hold of 1 man. But he does those animated videos, and the latest video, he was saying, basically it was like sharing is caring. The woman was saying, there's like a ratio between man and woman is like 100 to 1. So women are going to have to start sharing their men now. Now they want to start sharing men. Before that was hearsay, that was unheard of. But now women are willing to share 1 man, saying, if you can have 20 kids and love them all, a man can have different women. They're making that comparison. A man can love more than 1 child, just like he has a favorite pair of shoes and has a luscious fashion spree of items. You can love more than 1 woman, man, at the same time. So the women are getting ready to lower their standards, basically. Stop all this high standard bullshit of self-worth and all of that, because they're realizing that the self-worth comes from the man, not from them. The man is the prize, not the woman. Okay. So now they're willing to lower their standards, come down and drop the ego and deal with a man that has more than 1 wife. And that's how it's going to be. Polygamy is coming back in a major way. Sharing is caring, man. I put that video up
we've got all kinds of views and likes and all that. Because that's the spirit that's coming back on the earth. You know? And there's nothing wrong with that. And you got certain jakes out here still pushing them. Just one wife to one man, one wife and all that. That's BS, that's slavery, man. Monogamy is slavery. That's a slave mentality type lifestyle you're living.
Yeah.
A real man has more than one, you know. It just makes biological sense, man. It makes sense on all levels. So that's how it's going to go back to. Before the nuclear missiles come, Isaiah 4:1 is getting ready to come to play. Because when all hell's breaking loose and women are seeing men getting killed, girls getting killed mercilessly and all that, they're going to be defenseless, man. They're going to have no choice but to get on their knees and beg for a man to help them, you know.
Yeah, that's real.
So that's what's coming back.
I got a precept.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 12. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low.
Pride, man. All that pride, all that narcissist type behavior, all that's going out the window, man. The Lord said people are going to be humbled in these last days. For great pride, there's going to be terror to, 2nd Ezra 8:50.
Yeah. Kingdom shall be destroyed, the house shall be troubled, man.
Yeah. These people walked in great pride. Pride wasn't made for man, man. Pride goes before great fall and destruction of, you know. So that's what's coming, that's what pride gets you. Pride wasn't made for man, man. So all these proud people out here, they're gonna get humbled one way or another. These heathens right now, they're getting a little taste of their own medicine because the curses that was on us are slowly but surely getting lifted off of us and put on them. Deuteronomy 13:7. These crackers are complaining more than ever now. Crying, all in the videos and all that, moaning, complaining, ranting. How they're suffering, you can't take this thing. Well, welcome to our world, man. Welcome to Jake's world. Because we've been dealing with that for the past 400 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So get used to it. And that's only the beginning of your sorrows. You ain't even gone through nothing yet. Crying about some, your wages or whatever. But you ain't even gone through what we've gone through as a people. You ain't been put on cargo slave ships, and transported around the four winds of the earth like fucking sardines, being turned into a commodity, chattel slavery.
Right.
Got yokes of iron put around your neck, around your arms and legs, getting treated in less than nothing, having your oppressor rape your women and children in front of you. You ain't had none of that, butt breaking, all these things. I see one video, I think, what was it, in the mid-1700s or 1800s, there was a ship, and because these devils wanted to claim insurance, they basically got rid of all the jakes that was on the ship. They threw them overboard, man.
Yeah.
Shark-infested waters. Esau ain't gone through that. Esau's never been thrown overboard and fed to a bunch of hungry sharks. Great white sharks and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
You ain't never been gone through that trauma. You're gonna go through it though. In the kingdom, we're gonna have all kinds of sea creatures in them waters ready to take your asses out in slavery, man. We're gonna be throwing your asses overboard as well. We're gonna put you on the plank and make you jump overboard for the fun of it, man. Put an anchor around your fucking ankles so you can go straight down to the bottom of that bitch to meet Leviathan, man. See how you like them apples, man. We gonna have fun with you devils too. Everything you did to us, we gonna do to you times 2, man. We'll also return it to you double. So you fed our children onto alligators. We gonna feed your children onto alligators and anacondas, man. And any other animals we see fit. We gonna torture you devils, man. It ain't gonna be no fun for you Edomites in the kingdom. That's why I see why you're running from your nationality. To be called an Edomite is something you wouldn't even pay $1 trillion to be.
Never.
You wouldn't want to exchange all the money in the world to be called an Edomite or live an Edomite's life in captivity. That's the worst nation you ever want to be. That's why Volkan, man, I see why he keeps coming back. He's trying to seek some way, some sort of conversion for Esau, man. Just one Edomite can make it. He wants to be Haman and all that amongst the Jews. Like one Edomite can make it and so-called be saved, man. No, man. No Edomites are getting saved, man. So that means you're fucked. Your only best bet is you're not an Edomite. You better pray and hope that your line goes back to a Jake, which it probably doesn't, we know you're a serpent anyway, the seed of a serpent, because of your actions and the way you go on, carry yourself. You know you're the enemy anyway. You're an Edomite, man. You come in the spirit of Haman the Agagite. Treacherous, cunningly, wicked, devilish type spirit. You got the same spirit as your forefather Cain, man. You'd murder your brother in innocent cold blood and then say, where's my brother? You know, you don't know what happened to him. You say that in front of the Lord, man. You'd lie to the Lord in his face. You're that type of devil, man. It's the same spirit Cain had, came back as the Edomites, man. So that's the same incarnation you got in you. That's why you can't be trusted, man. We can't bring you into the kingdom and say, oh yeah, Vocab can be a man. He'd be plotting against us, man. He'll be trying to convert man into Christianity again. In the kingdom.
Yeah.
We're talking about Cesare Borgia, it's about the name of the Lord is Jesus and all that in the kingdom, you know. This guy will be trying to convert souls. Really bringing damnation into the, you know, spreading leaven and all that in the kingdom, man. He can't have you around teaching your madness, man. That theologian cemetery doctrine. That shit is poison, man. That's poison to the ears, to the soul. Because once you get a guy believing that madness, it's hard to get him back. If they believe in that wacky-tacky shit, it's hard. That's why you had them Jakes with you. They was in a sunken place spiritually, man. That first Jake, he tried to come up and contend. He got sent with his arse and his hand cheeks, basically. And he just hid in the corner somewhere. It's quiet. Because the elders just dealt with him, man. They destroyed him. They destroyed his logic, his ethic, his so-called ethics of what the Bible, the virgin birth is. They totally dismantled that. So he just went off running. Then you had the other Jake with the beard and the hoodie try to come and contend. He got sent running as well. Vocab tried to put his little 2 pence in every now and again, screaming and shouting, because he's the devil, causing confusion. That's what the devil will do. He's not about edification, he's about causing confusion, man. He doesn't want us to be the Israelites, because he knows if we're the Israelites, that means his people are Edomites and they're going into slavery. And he doesn't deal with prophecy, he doesn't like reincarnation, he don't deal with none of those. That shows you he's not a Jake. Because all the main topics of discussion about being an Israelite, he doesn't agree with. He doesn't agree with reincarnation. He agrees with some fantasy of a virgin birth, all this hell doctrine. He agrees with all that theologian madness out of the Roman Catholic Church, man. So how the hell is he going to come back, come and convert to being a Jake? He's a heathen anyway. He ain't going to follow this thing. It says the wicked shall not understand. Yeah. And for the past 10 years or more, since 2016, we've been telling this idiot that the Gentiles are Israelite foreigners in the Gentile state of mind. And he still comes up with an argument, tries to come up with a stupid argument. And if it ain't that, the Most High, the Trinity doctrine, he tried to push the Trinity doctrine, Elder Ricard, you can't shut that shit down straight away. He said, don't bring that Trinity shit over here. You don't really believe in no Trinity, man. Cut that shit down straight away. You know, mold that shit down with the lawn, spiritual lawn. He tried to bring it in. Well, the Trinity, yeah, you believe that God is the Son, and nah, shut up, man. You didn't say that. Fuck out of here with all that. Mold that shit down. When they still come with his virgin shit. After we brought compelling evidence, you know, breaking it down about Luke, the 3rd chapter, it's talking about the lineage of Mary through her father, Eli, and then Matthew 1:1 is talking about the lineage of Joseph, you know, and it don't make no it makes perfect sense, because how can there be a virgin birth? Didn't Yahweh Shai have brothers and sisters?
Right.
So was they immaculately conceived as well?
Right.
Fucking idiots.
Come on.
He had 4 brothers, man. 2 was in the faith, 2 was not in the faith. And he had sisters too. So were they immaculately conceived as well? He acting like it was just Yahweh Shai and that was the only child that was born from Joseph and Mary. He had brothers and sisters. Biological brothers and sisters, man. What the fuck are you talking about? So how did they come about then? Did Gabriel come back every time and say you're going to have another son named Joseph, you're going to have another son named James, you're going to have another son named Jude? They didn't say that. Yeah. So what the hell are you talking about, man? Showing that you guys are just morons. You have no understanding, like spiritual understanding. You got low IQ, man. Because that's the like the end of the argument there. Immaculate conception. But Yahweh Shai had brothers and sisters, biological. Like this is his bloodline. This is his blood brother from the same father. So how the fuck can he be immaculately conceived from an angel? That doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, if I could say, like, if he was immaculately conceived by an angel, when he was saying that he was the son of the Most High, which he was, in the spirit, through the spirit, like, would the people not
Yeah, he
have
has a
then
spiritual
said,
father.
Yeah.
He has a physical father, man, on the earth.
Exactly.
Someone get Romans, I think it's in Romans, it says that seed of David, just type in seed of David.
I think it's
Romans 1. Yeah, but like, there would have been like a sect of Jake that would have said, you know what, no, but he is of the angel though. There would have been people speaking about it. But
That's
like,
why they brought up the situation with the temple. Elder was going into it because he caught him because they thought they were slick. They said, why are you talking about the temple? But the whole temple situation exemplifies the fact that you have to come from the line of an Israelite to get into the inner court. You can't be a heathen and talk about you want to go into the court of the Israelites, man. You can't. You have to be on the outer courts, the profane, the outer courts, like it tells you in Revelations, man. The heathen are part of the outer court. They're not part of the inner court of Israel. They're not part of the elect, the chosen people. They're without. They're out. They're profane. They're outside. They're bastards. They're heathens. So but how would you get entrance into the temple for all these different doorways by the guards? Is that you have to prove your lineage. You'd have your records. Saying, I'm of this stock, this is my father, of this father, that father. Yahweh Shai would have had that. Just like the disciples. They would have had their records. We don't have them today, but they would have had it back then to gain entrance into the temple. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to, get into the Levites wouldn't be able to, do the holies of holies and all that ceremonies and all that stuff. Come on, that just makes perfect sense. So that's where it's like that's where he caught vocab in them because they thought he was just going to talk about anything.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. Look, because like at the end of the day, the scriptures line up, man. Like Yahweh Shai is of the tribe of Judah, right? Like if he was of an angel seed and people knew that your inheritance is determined by your father. Exactly.
Angels don't have sex.
Angels don't have sex, man.
Exactly. And even if you want to come in some warped reality, like Jake likes to turn the scriptures into a comic book, start talking about like the Anunnaki and all that bullshit that you talk about. But like, if he came from seed of an angel, bro, what would that make him? Some sort of Super Saiyan Israelite? You know what I mean? Like he just every 1,000 years.
They wouldn't have fulfilled the prophecies, man. It said he had to come through the seed of man, through the birth of a woman's womb, through the chambers of a woman's womb, through the seed of man.
Yeah, man.
It tells you that in the Apocrypha, man.
Yeah, man.
Like 9 to 10 months.
Every man has the same, basic
That's how
entrance.
man is processed. That's how man is birthed into this. It's the matrix, man. The woman has the matrix in her womb. That's what the matrix means, man. He came through the matrix. Literally, that's Neo.
Yeah. They were trying to push it like that's like some Hercules shit. Like Zeus impregnated a mortal woman.
That's theology, man. That's what it is. They tried to push that. That's what all that hell doctrine and church doctrine goes back to. Greek theology, all that, and really goes back to Babylonian worship, man.
That's what it is.
But they're pushing that whole Zeus had sex with a woman and brought forth the son and all that.
Demigod.
Yeah, demigod and all that.
Oh, crazy. And he's half God, half man, and
and we are demigods in a way because the scripture says we are a nation of gods. Every brother that's part of the Lord's elect has been birthed the same way, came through the matrix of a woman, through the seed of a man. And as I said, Yahweh Shai had brothers and sisters. It's just that he was the chosen line, he was the chosen man of that chosen seed, man. Just like you got brothers in your family in this truth, you're going to have one brother or two brothers that might be in the truth. And the other other brothers or sisters don't acknowledge you, man, or don't acknowledge this truth. That's the same thing with Yahweh Shai. He was that chosen one. He was the chosen one of his line. And he just so happened to be the son of the Heavenly Father as well. Because he had to come through the spirit of a man.
The word made flesh.
Yeah, the word was made flesh. So he had to fulfill the prophecies, man. He couldn't come come out of thin air like Melchizedek. Because that wouldn't have fulfilled the prophecies, man.
Right.
The Lord could have done it like that, but he didn't do it like that. For a specific reason. To fulfill prophecy. Because the Lord's not the author of confusion, man. You got it?
Yeah, this is Romans chapter 1 and verse 3. Concerning his son, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David.
Made of the seed of David, meaning he came from that same line, you morons, biologically.
according.
Immaculate conception. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says made of the seed of David according to the flesh.
According to the flesh. So your whole immaculate conception doctrine is cut down and mowed down, man, by the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. The Kakodash. Because you guys always come with that theologian bullshit because you're trying to push with that mysticism in this truth.
Yeah.
You know, and that breeds basically salvation for all nations, because you're going to try and say the law came for all nations, he didn't come for the nation, only his people. And it plainly tells you he's the savior of his people. You know, he's going to redeem his people from their sins. He's the Ga'al, the kinsman redeemer. What's it mean to be a kinsman redeemer? It means you're coming from that specific line, a family root, a family line, pedigree. You know, he's the Ga'al redeemer, the kinsman redeemer, meaning he has brethren of the same stock. And that doesn't include Esau, man. Esau is of another line. When Jacob and Esau came out of the womb of Rebekah, the Lord said he separated them from the bowels, man. And when they was in the womb, the Lord separated them. And even more so when they came out. Because all nations came out of, you know, majority, 3 men. It was after the flood. Ham, Sham, or Japheth. So it doesn't mean they're all related. It doesn't mean that we're all brethren. All nations come out of those 3 men. You know? With different seeds though, man. Jacob is a different stock from Esau, man. Just like Ishmael is a different stock from Jacob, Israel. Ishmael was the firstborn. But he didn't receive the promise because he was of the bondwoman. Instead of the free woman, that child was going to be conceived, which is who? Isaac. And then after Isaac came what? Jacob. And the whole thing about the virgin birth and her being put away is because he was ashamed of presenting a pregnant woman before the congregation, because that was downplayed upon, man. That was looked down upon in the kingdom. Like you couldn't wait, sex before marriage, as they call it. You couldn't wait to bust a nut. So it's looked down and it's despised as a custom in Israel. But that doesn't mean he committed a transgression, because he made an example of Isaac. When Isaac was, you know, burning, he caught Rebekah and went into his mother's tent. They didn't have no ceremony. You know? There wasn't no ceremony, man. They just did what they had to do and brought forth the seed. You know? That's how certain things happen. It doesn't mean that's a transgression of the law. It's not a sin, basically. Because Paul said it himself in 1 Corinthians. If you're burning for one another, let them marry. He didn't say how you have to have a ceremony first and then marry. You know, if you're burning, come together. That's what he said. So wouldn't Paul been cursed out for saying something like that if that was against the law? He said, let them marry, man. Meaning let them have sex. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just this world is so fucking westernized and, you know, you know, it's just so fucking in a slave mentality. You can't see how the ancient world really works. You can't foresee how the ancient world really was, man. To you, that's like barbarianism. It's like barbaric behavior, you know. But the life that we're living now in this modern day society is barbaric compared to the customs of the ancient world. We were more in order in the ancient world than now. The way that we're living now is more barbaric, man. Look at our people, man, destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. With all kinds of winds of doctrine going off, committing all kinds of wicked acts. That's why the Lord said, my people are such children, man. They're wise to do evil. Let's talk about this generation. The Lord said this is the most adulterous and wicked generation. He wasn't talking about 2,000 years ago. He was talking about this generation now. He was prophesying in the future when he said that. This is an adulterous and wicked generation.
Come on, man.
He was talking about Jake's now. What Jake are doing right now as we speak. What's the number one fucking topic of discussion regarding Jake in relationships? Sleeping with another man's wife. They're always bragging and boasting about committing adultery, man. How to get one over and take another man's wife You know, they popularized it, man. They made it hit. They turned it into #1 songs in the charts. Committing adultery,
Oh, come on. That Nelly song and that, man.
innit? The
That's
Joe song.
Oh, bro.
I could do things your man won't do and all that.
Crazy.
Baby,
Even that.
I wanna do.
Yeah, Destiny's Child, ladies and good fellas at
Yeah,
home.
so I creep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it on the down low.
That's so crazy.
Creeping, you know. And that was a #1 hit.
Yeah.
That shit sold millions.
Yeah. Bro.
Bitches in their pajamas. Creep. Yeah.
Crazy.
T-Boz in them, man.
Crazy.
Chili.
Crazy.
Left eye's ass.
Isn't that Destiny's Child? Leave your fellas at home. The club is full of ballers and all of that.
Yeah, all them
that.
songs,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Independence and all that. I'm a survivor. I need me a. Remember that one with Lil Wayne? I need me a.
Oh, that
Soldier.
soldier. Yeah.
Who was pushing that adulterous shit, man? That's the biggest topic of discussion
Crazy.
when it comes to Jake, man. We're trying to get one over. They want to get like Drake. Biggest thing that he does, which he's well known for in the industry, is when he has an enemy, he likes to approach their fucking baby mamas and their girlfriends, man, and deal with their wives and shit. That's how he gets back at his enemy. He likes to deal with their baby mamas and shit, man. Straight up adulterous, man. That guy's like modern day fucking what's this guy? Fucking what's that C word again? No. It's the ancient medieval term. C something, man.
Well, why not you?
Like a player, but it's what's the angel with the
Cupid.
he's a modern not Cupid. It's the other thing, man. It's the other one. Casanova.
Okay,
Yeah, he's a modern day Casanova, man. You know? Player type dude, man. You know? That's what Jake got into, man. That's why the Lord said this is a wicked and adulterous generation. And they're going to be destroyed, man. Because adultery is one of the major sins in the Bible, that the punishment is death.
Fills
It
the
said that
land
he
with
that
hoarding.
committeth adultery lacketh understanding, man.
Yeah.
What was he going to say?
No, I was going to say that because basically you can causing a woman to commit adultery, you're causing the land to fall to hoarding.
Yeah, and that's why a man's supposed to go in onto his wife. If she's burning, or he's burning, that's why Paul said that. Apostle Paul said, go into her, man. Marry, man. Don't let her start lusting, because then she's going to go lurk in other places. Being a busybody and then lurking other places, wanting another man to replace you. And that's what a woman's excuses are nowadays. When she cheats on her husband, so he's working too many hours. He doesn't spend time with me. They always use that excuse. And maybe sober, but he's trying to bring the lamb on, trying to bring the bacon home, so to speak. Pause. Trying to bring the lamb home to feed the family, man.
Daily
He's
bread.
a provider. So obviously he's got to work man hours and all of that. But when he has time to take care of you, he should be able to take care of his wife. But because these women are just acts, they're just lust bunnies, they always want. Take. Always wanting stuff in being self-entitled all the damn time. They feel like they're being mistreated and they're not being paid attention to. They're just attention seekers, man. They're like big kids. You got to keep them attend to them at all times. Keep them entertained. They're like big kids. They get bored real quickly. So if you're not around to do the job in the bedchambers, they're gonna go lurking somewhere else. And that's why that spirit of adultery is just running rampant amongst our people, man. And part of that is what STIs. Because our people are wicked as all hell. Especially amongst the black women, they got like the highest rate for STIs and abortions, man. When it comes to abortions, forget about it. No one comes close to the nigger woman, man. Them Plan Bs, they put them like Tic Tacs, man. These nigger women be aborting babies like it's nothing, man. Because they're just opening their legs to every arrow. They open their quiver to every arrow, man. So that spirit of adultery is running rampant in society. That's why the Lord says he's gonna destroy 2/3, man. And not only just because of the spiritual, the physical adultery, spiritual adultery as well, worshipping of different idols and gods. That's another main one. You know, that's why the wacky tackies came up with vocab, because they're committing spiritual adultery. They're idol worshippers, man. They're worshipping Cesare Borgia, or whatever the domination they are. They're like Roman Catholic theologian madness that they're following. You know, that's straight up adultery in the eyes of the Lord, spiritual adultery. So the Lord said, anyone that commits it, 1 Corinthians 6:9, anyone that commits adultery, idolatry, it's gonna be, you're not gonna make it into the kingdom, man. You're gonna die.
What you said?
Go ahead.
It says James 4:4.
Yeah.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai?
And that's how you know that Christian doctrine is all off, because that's a worldly doctrine. Christianity pushes a worldly friend type spirit, man. You gotta be friends with everyone.
Ned Flanders.
There's no separation. Everyone can be saved, even homosexuals and you know and dykes.
Come
and
as
all
you
that.
are type of
Yeah,
energy.
come as you are. The Lord doesn't hate the sinner; He hates the sin.
Crazy.
So that's why that Christianity is the worst doctrine, man, for Jake. That prosperity plantation Christianity, because it pushes that friendly world type spirit.
Yeah. That's right.
And that's not what the Lord's dealing with, man. The Lord is not on that friendly friend of the world, bring everyone together, all come as one type spirit. We are the world and shit, man. The Lord's not with that, man. He's never been with that. That's what that Christian madness pushes from them wacky tackies, man. That's showing you that's a false doctrine off the jump. Because if you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It says that, man.
Yeah, it says, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Yes, if you're following them wacky tacky Christians, following vocab, you're an enemy of the Lord, man. You're an enemy of the cross. Any other religion outside of this doctrine, this truth, heritage of these people, being an Israelite, a true Hebrew Israelite from the stock of Jacob, 12 tribes. If you're pushing any other type of religion, world religion, man-made religion, something that's made of man's hands, you're an enemy of the Lord, man. You're an antichrist, man. You're anti-Messiah. And unless you repent and come out of that dogma type spirit, you're going to be destroyed, man. Now, if them two Jakes that was arguing with the brothers at the camp came back and repented and said that, we following a false doctrine, we, start distancing, because the brother was trying to, you can see them brothers were slowly but surely trying to, they were conforming to what Elder Rakar was saying to them, man. They was actually starting to listen. At first, they was being argumentative and just being rebellious and, tit for tat and all that. But at the end, towards the end, you could see that, because he was telling them, stay away from that serpent vocab, man. He's no good for you, man. And they didn't say no. They were just there laughing. Because they saw how we was catching vocab out, man. They saw how we destroyed him with the word. And he didn't have he couldn't contend. He was just there helpless, defenseless, and he had to just back away from the camera and try and hide, man. And he was like, look, man, stay away from that guy. That guy's a serpent, man. It's no good for you. So you can see in their spirit, they weren't totally being converted, but the spirit, the word was, you can see it was working on them, man. It was working on that guy's mind. To stay away, come out of that Christian shit, basically, man. Wake up. Because we ain't got too much long time left.
Yeah.
Soon the Lord gonna close the doors, as we said, and in the time of judgment, there's no mercy. James 2:30.
That's right.
In the time of judgment, there's no mercy. So if you don't repent now, and seek ye the Lord while he may be found, while the prophets are still out there on the highways and hedges, you're fucked, man. So if those guys was in the right spirit and they came back and repented before the Lord, before the brothers, and said, yo, we believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, we're not following no damn Christ, Jesus Christ. I'm sure the Lord will accept them, because the Lord wants chicks to repent. If they're part of the Lord's elect. Because it tells you that in Jeremiah 5, if you can get that real quick.
Jeremiah 5.
Yeah, read from the top.
This is Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, run ye to and fro through the streets of Jerusalem.
This is what we're doing. This is why we're in the highways and hedges all around the UK, all around the four winds of the earth, all over the internet, the World Wide Web, doing these online epistles. We're running to and fro throughout Jerusalem. Jerusalem's a people before it's a place. So that's how we're finding Jake throughout the world. We don't have to get on planes or boats like some guys do. All we have to do is speak. We don't have to jump in a plane like Volcamp to go and convince people. We just jump on the internet, man. The internet does the heavy lifting, as the apostles have been saying. It's the World Wide Web, the unicorn, the feed horn, man. Go ahead. It does the sifting, man. Go ahead.
And see now, and know, and seek in the broad places thereof,
Highways and hedges, yeah. The gaps.
if ye can find a man, if there be any that executeth judgment, that seeketh the truth.
Yeah, so
and
if that guy was in the right spirit and they came back repenting, maybe they was, come rebellious before, but if they came back in the spirit of repentance, the Lord will accept them, man. If they're part of the Lord's elect. If they're not going to accept this truth. Don't matter what we say to them. They're just not part of the Lord's elect. But there are going to be Jakes that's going to come in the 11th hour seeking this truth still. Yeah. And they're going to be saved, man. The Lord talks about that. Go ahead.
it says, if there be any that executeth judgment, and seeketh the truth, and I will pardon it.
The Lord will pardon it, meaning the Lord's going to have mercy. Man. They're going to be accepted. That's just the first step. They have to come into this fold, accept the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, accept the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, or the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, and not no Trinity doctrine and none of that. And then they have to go through the other steps of learning the doctrine, getting edification, building up themselves in the spirit. And then in the process of time, they'll be at the camp holding post. And if they're in it long enough, they'll go from different positions from holding post to speaking. So they can teach others, just like how we came in the truth. I still remember to this day how brothers met, came into the truth, man. I was at uni and still studying that fucking uni my last year. And I so happened to come across the videos online. I think I saw Bubba Lights first, or one of them. I think it was Bubba Lights. I saw his videos first on World Star Hip Hop. Then I started seeing the ISUPK camp videos as well. So I was confused of which camp was which because I started seeing his videos, Bubba Lights. But then I come across the Great Millstone videos and I started watching that with the apostles. And that's when I started following. And then through time, process of time, me and another brother, he came into the truth, but he fell out. I had a Scottish Jake, but he fell out the truth. Brothers might remember him, he was like a white-looking Jake, so-called Edomite, but he was Scottish, he was a Jake. But he fell out the truth, Dawa Yad, his name was David. His Scottish name was David, Dawa Yad. But basically, through him, we inquired to find out where there's a Great Millstone camp in London. And through the process of time, we found out the brothers is over there embarking, man. Then through emails and communications, we got in contact with the elders, Elder Makayo Palm. And then that's how we all started, man. We started going out there embarking. That's when we used to be out there in the highways and hedges in the black, looked like a black militant, like black kind of garment with the blue trim and all that. Everyone had the same kind of, and the brothers started changing it up. Stop wearing all that dark black and all that shit, because that pushes out a vibration when you wear all that dark black, We're colourful people, we're like a speckled bird. So we're, vibrant with different colours. So anyway, that's how brothers, and the other brothers came into the truth other ways, And certain brothers remained in the truth, certain brothers fell out after a few years. Certain brothers got disenchanted, got pulled out of the truth for other means and reasons, women. A lot of brothers fell out of the truth because of fucking women,
This is crazy.
Or because they just got disenchanted in this truth. They didn't truly believe. They just thought it was something to be part of, like in some youth club type thing. But it's all about enduring it to the end. I was watching a Kazak's video last night in Mississippi, GMS Mississippi, and he was going into the fact that the Lord, He's watching our works, man. He's not going to forget our works, our love, our labor of love. And the reason why we're in this truth is basically to make it to the end, man. You ain't been brought into this truth for no reason. That's the title of the video, if I'm not mistaken. You ain't been brought into this truth for no reason. Our job is to make it to the end. You had many come and many go. It's about your individual walk, your in a separate relationship with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and whether you truly believe, man. Are you willing to go? Are you willing to go all the way?
Understand?
Because a lot of brothers did many years and still fell out the truth. It's not about how many years you've done. It's about,
Finishing the race.
finishing the race. Like, yeah, yesterday you might have done 2-3 sit downs, but what are you doing today? You got to keep going, man. Just because you did a good sit down and a good hour-long sit down last night, what about today?
Understand?
You still got to keep going. Still got to keep fighting the good fight of faith till the Lord returns, man. Till He says that's enough. So that's what it's about, enduring it to the end, finishing the race, like the brother said, right?
Revelations 2:25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So we're going to inherit the ability to have real authority over these nations from Yahweh Shai as long as we endure round to the end. What does that look like? It looks like getting that spiritual body, man. Having our hearts changed from that stony heart to the fleshly heart. So we become automatic righteous. That the laws, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments just become second nature to us, man.
Yeah, man. Many are called, but few are chosen. And like brothers have been saying, it's a tough walk, man. It's a straight gate, straight and narrow, man. That's why it's a hard, difficult walk that every individual brother of the elect has to go through. But no matter what happens, in your personal life, or you can't let that neglect and affect you in this truth. Neglect the work. Don't neglect the gift, man. So it tells in Romans, nothing shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Meaning no matter how bad things get, or even how good things get, you can come into like a major check. And certain brothers get complacent with that, come into a lot of money, and then they start forgetting themselves, man. Like Deacon, Akar, you got the bishops and all these guys. They look at the money and they think about the merchandise that they can make in this truth, and that allures them to stay in this truth or make, try and make moves, so to speak, to keep making more money. But that's the wrong spirit to have, man. We're supposed to be like, we just be complacent with, not complacent, but be content, with our daily bread, man. We're not supposed to. It says desire not to be rich, So that's the mindset of the spirit of a true prophet of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're not seeking to be rich. We're also not trying to fall off the straight and narrow path either. We've got to stay on point. That's why you have to go through the ups and downs. The Lord will put you through, rigorous, trials and tribulations, and then sometimes He will bless you, and sometimes He will, bring you down a little bit. But it's all about keeping you on that, in the middle, so to speak, keeping you on that straight and narrow, so you don't veer off. Learn to be abased, and sometimes sometimes you have and sometimes you don't. Apostle Paul spoke about that. That's how it is in this truth, man. But you learn how to be temperate in all things, to be disciplined, balanced. So you don't lose yourself. Guys come into money and they start losing themselves, man. Then it's changing up the whole doctrine all of a sudden, forgetting the whole reason why they was important to the truth in the first place. Then you're denying the name of the Lord. Just basically becoming like a bastard. You went from being a son to a bastard, man. An outcast, a Judas goat. That's probably because you're not part of the Lord's elect. A lot of guys are coming to this truth. They've been brought in unawares, crept in unawares, and some of them brought to this condemnation, meaning they're brought into this truth to be judged, to be destroyed, for being wicked, either in this life or in their past life, man. The Lord has His ways, man, to get people. But either way, it's a fight, man. And what do you do when you fight? Sometimes you win rounds, and sometimes you lose, man. Sometimes you take more hits than you give out. But it's about endurance, it's about getting back up, getting to the championship rounds. And that's what we're coming to now. When this Mark of the Beast system comes in fully implemented, mandated around the 4 winds, that's going to be like literally the championship rounds of being in this truth. Because certain guys are going to give up hope. They're going to give up and just, make haste in the time of trouble and take the sea hit, forgetting their whole reason why we was in this truth, man. Just give up. Certain brothers are going to be like, fuck it, man, I'm willing to die for this. I ain't living life anyway. My life is shit anyway. I might as well just go back to the spiritual realm and wait for the Lord to raise me up, man. Abba Ratazar, man. Be part of the Lord's elect. So that's the mindset, man. you're gonna have to have. You're gonna have to want to be basically, if push comes to shove, just be willing to give yourself up for the brotherhood, man. Like Yahweh Shai did for us. He gave himself up for the brothers, man. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. Something that no one wants to go through that, but it's something he had to do. He prayed to the Father 3 times, but he still had to do it. So he did it. Obviously, we're going to go through the same temptations as well. We're going to be like, oh, can the Lord take this burden from me? But we're still going to have to go through that test. Are you going to take the mark or you're not going to take it? If you take it, you already know where you're going. You're going to be burnt with nuclear fire. If you don't take it and you endure unto the end, even unto death, you're going to be rewarded, man. That's why I said hold fast to that till the Lord returns, man. Hold fast to what? This truth, this doctrine. What we've been pursuing for all these years. What we've been teaching. Don't change up. Don't change up the doctrine, man. Don't start being lured away for filthy lucre's sake and all that. There's certain guys that came in this truth. Giving heed to seducing spirits. Hold on to the armor. Go ahead.
Scripture. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are seen, it says, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Because this world is temporal, man. The fashion of this world is going to pass away.
Yep.
As we speak right now, this world is getting more and more destitute, and it's getting ready to go into straight war and damnation, destruction, man. So this place is on its last legs. We started off by saying that. This kingdom is on its last legs, man. Look at the way Trump's behaving. Even the Gooks are coming out saying this guy's inept. Like he's not good for office, to rule the office no more. He's losing his mind. He's forgetting himself. He keeps leaping off at meetings. Even the Gook was saying that, like, this guy's he's not in order, man. He's not good enough to run the Oval Office anymore. He needs to be honest with the American people and just resign. That guy's old as fuck. He's 80s and shit. All kinds of diseases. Saying he just needs to come out and tell the people what's wrong with him. You've got all kinds of ailments. You're not telling the people what's going on. You're making all these rash decisions, putting up all these rash posts, showing that you're not all there in the brain, man. You're making hasty decisions that's causing chaos in people's lives, man. It's affecting people's lives, not just your life, but affecting the whole American economy. So he needs to come forward, man, and just express that. And then someone else will come and step in, but we know he's the cruel Lord. He's going to stay in there, Abu Ratazar, till this war of Armageddon kicks off, till it finishes, basically. He's the last Trump, man. We don't see no one else getting in office anytime soon anyway. He said he's going to be the last president. We believe that. That word came out of his own mouth. He said, I'm going to be the last president. He said that. He weren't lying when he said it either. We can see it.
That's right. That's right. Lord willing, Yahweh Shai he'll be the man, to bring it in, because all signs are pointing to it being him. So, hey, man, Lord willing, man. May the Lord
He fits the bill, man. He's the true Lord. He's the king of Babylon. He's very proud. No one can tell him shit. He keeps making all these perverse, unintelligent decisions, making American economy and shit worse for people, and he doesn't care. He said it. He don't care about the American people, man. He's about, filling the pockets of him and his billion-dollar buddies behind the scenes, man, the lobbyists and all that. The small hats. That's who he really works for. As we said before, he's just a CEO of a company, which is America, and he works for the shareholders, man, which are the elite, the Jays, man, the small hats, the Amalekites. He works for the small. Even him and BB are at odds right now. He's cursing out BB. So they're showing you Satan divided against Satan. How should his kingdom stand? It should be brought to desolation. So America's through on all levels, yeah? There ain't no way America's going to be made great again. America's never going to be as it once was. It's going to keep going down and down, decadent and more just destitute and lack of knowledge and understanding to the point of no return, man. To the point where the nuclear missiles are going to be pushed. The other nations are just waiting, man. Russia's waiting. You know? They're waiting to strike, man. Now Ukraine's wants to join hand in hand with Putin now. Zelensky wants to have peace talks with Putin. So that reinforces his strength and makes America more weaker. You know? America's finished, man. It's just not even funny. The way America's gonna go out, man, Lord said with violence, that great city be destroyed. That's what's happening, man. Slowly but incrementally, man. You know? What's on?
One second. Finishing off Revelations, the 2nd chapter, verse 27 to 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Meaning that ultimately that we endure right unto the very bitter end of this thing, the Lord is going to give us the neck of our enemies. He's going to give us these nations to be under our foot, and there ain't going to be no one to answer to, man. Or other than Yahweh Hashem Hawashai, meaning that in righteousness we're going to be able to exert judgment. And like judgment is what's necessary. In this kingdom, somebody can do you wrong, they can come into your house and rob your shit. If you then take them out, the police are going to come and arrest you like you've committed a crime on top of a crime. If somebody sleeps with your woman, you got to just suck it in. Or rape your daughter. You can't
go
do
back
nothing.
and kill them.
You can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing. Like, yo, you know, somebody,
For now.
somebody, you know, somebody kills your brother, you got to just take it on the chin.
Yeah.
And the king
They'll actually free the fucking assault, you know, the criminal. They actually give him a lesser sentence, man.
Yeah.
I think that happened. I think there was a shooting from Edomite. Yeah, he pulled out an AR-15, shot out a family of 20. He just let go of the bullet, but he started it as well. He was in his car. They was having like children's party, whatever. And because he was upset that they was having a party and being loud, you know how Jake is in the hood. He got upset, started screaming rants at them, screaming all kinds of racial slurs. Then he went home and got his armor and put on his fucking, you know, bulletproof vest or whatever, got his AR-15 and started shooting. All of them, like even children, and like, so they had to run into the house. You hear the video, see the video of the woman screaming and children screaming and all that. But then one of the old folks that was there, he was an ex-Marine, so apparently he shot the guy that was shooting at them, shot the Edomite or some Jason Bourne type shit, and then he killed him. But apparently he got like a little misdemeanor. He didn't even get like proper jail sentence. Like he nearly killed people. He's carrying a loaded weapon, shooting at children, pedestrians and all that. And all he got was a little slap on the wrist. If that was Jake, they would have put him underneath the prison, man. So it's like a two-tier system over there in America too. Same thing they have over here. If Jake commit a crime, you know, a knife crime or whatever, just even brandishing a knife, they're gonna throw you underneath the jail, man. Put all kinds of terms and conditions on your ass. You'll never see the light of day again. But if it's an Edomite that does it, like these devils that was committing all these riots, they'll give them a slap on the wrist, man. 6 months. Or what's that, probation, and all that. They have to go do some community work for a year. And then they're back on the roads again. So this is bullshit. It's a two-tier system, but that shows you where the systematic slave system, man, you know. Systematic oppression is the word, as they call it. And Jake is the bottom of society, man. You know, it tells you we're the infamy of the people. You know, we're the most hated, but we're the most adored at the same time. Meaning that people want to be us, but they hate us at the same time, man. They want to dress like us, talk like us, you know, but they despise us at the same time. Because they know we're the greatest nation. All these other nations, if Jake wasn't on the earth, you know, there'll be no salt in the earth, basically. There'll be no flavor. We'll just be dead. We'll be a dead society, man. Because these heathens ain't got no spirit, no lively spirit, man. They ain't got no flavor. They don't know how to get no set of vibe and get shit popping, so to speak. You know, they don't know how to do that, man. But Jake, they bring flavor, man. They bring excitement, entertainment. They're lively stones, man. Like it tells you in the scriptures. We're lively people. They bring the life to the party, you know. So anything Jake do, they bring flavor on it. We're the salt of the earth. So these devils, these other nations, they know that, man. That's why they harassing their popularity, their contests and all these different talent shows and that, sports and entertainment, because they know that we're the top entertainers and sports, people on the earth, athletes and all that, you know. But other than that, they still look at you as a nigger, man. They still despise you. Like, it's the monkey, you know. You're the most talented monkey they've ever seen in their life. You can slam dunk a fucking a ball from the half of the court, do a slam dunk from half the court all the way to the damn rim. You ain't seen no fucking heathen do that. And that's without the bouncing castle, man. Madness. But that's the type of power we have. We're the superior race, and that's gonna be exemplified even more when the Lord returns, because as the brothers are saying, we're going to receive them new bodies, man. We're going to shed these feeble bodies of mortality and put on bodies of immortality, man. Meaning we're going to be like gods amongst men all over again. Literally, we're going to be like gods amongst men. All these other nations, they're going to be beneath us, man. Spiritually, physically, mentally, all of that. They're going to be underneath our foot. And the Lord's going to give us that power as sons, man. Because it tells you in Galatians 4:4. If you go deal with the sufferings of the Lord, you'll be accepted as sons. And that means we're going to reign as heirs in his kingdom. And that's what the brother's reading right now. We're going to get power, which means have possession over our enemies, man. Meaning we're going to rule over them with might and with rigor. We're going to tell them what to do, how to build it, when to sleep, when to wake up, all of that. When to eat, what to think. We're going to be controlling them, not the other way around, man. You know, they're going to come to us for the wonderful things now. We're not going to go to them for the wonderful things no more. Because we're going to be the ones owning shit. They're going to make this new movie on Mensa Musa. This guy that made Black Panther and shit. And Michael B. Jordan. They're going to make Mensa Musa. Saying he was the richest Jake. Him and his brother discovered America. All this bullshit. I was like, that's just one Israelite that was ruling in Mali or whatever. That's nothing new. Because he had all that the gold bullion and all that. Yeah, he was the richest man at that time, probably. But that was the Mali Empire. But what about 1,000 years before that? 2,000 years before that, he had King Solomon. I told you that in the scripture, King Solomon had gold plates and all these different things. As just utilities, just hanging around. He just had gold everywhere, you know. He was the real richest king on the earth at one time, and the smartest too, the wisest king. But then we'll talk about Mensa Musa like he was the only black king to ever have all that gold and all that, the richest black man on earth that ever lived. No, man, King Solomon had way more riches than Mensa Musa. You know, he had all the gold. He had all the golden wedge of Ophir. He got all the gold from America. He had all the gold. He had all of that, man. And he decked out his soldiers, his men. You know, the Queen of Sheba, she was in awe. She didn't know what she was seeing. She didn't understand how man could just be so decadent and be so wise. You know, she wanted to seek out the wisdom. And that was King Solomon, man. So King Solomon was and he had many wives. He had 1,000 women. So he was the real Mensa Musa, man. He was the real richest man of the earth back then. You know, damn Mensa Musa. Mensa Musa was, just a flash in the pan, man. Although he did have a kingdom, an empire and all that. Yeah, but he weren't King Solomon, though.
Okay.
You know? He was an Israelite following that Islam religion. Precept? Yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, that kingdom's going to be transferred from Esau, Edom, which is still ruling right now, to the children of Israel, starting with the elect, man. The Lord's chosen, man. You know, as I always quote, 2 Ezra 8:1, this world was made for many, but the world to come was made for a few. Let's talk about the elect of the Lord, man. We're going to inherit the earth, literally, inherit this whole earth. There's still parts of this earth undiscovered, man. People talk about Antarctica and all that, it's restricted and no one can go there. They talk about the Amazon rainforest, so vast, you know, you can't even, you know, search it out. It's too vast, you know. Now there's other parts of the earth that's not been discovered. We're going to discover all of that, man. This whole earth's going to belong to Israel. Yasha Allah. And we're going to govern it the right way. We're going to put everything back in its order, back in its orderly, in its order, you know. Animals are going to live their life to full expectancy, that's how you say it. And we're not going to be extinct. We're not going to be making animals extinct anymore. They're going to have their habitation and live fruitful lives, you know. And man is going to have his life. And we're going to be living our lives, man. We're going to have rulership and possession of this whole earth and people on it. We're going to possess things, possess people's goods. That's why it says that, you know, gates are going to be open continually, man. We're going to get all them gold reserves, all the reserves, all the products, the resources of the earth. We're going to be governing it and we're going to distribute it out, you know, the way it's supposed to be done, man. We're going to govern it properly, man. To make sure it's in order with the earth, not polluting the air or the water we have to drink, you know. Because that's what Esau will do. Esau will find reserves of the earth and he'll start plowing the earth, you know, he'll start drilling the earth and all that of its resources, but at the same time damage the earth at the same time. Cause all kinds of pollution, you know, in the waters, oil spills, fucking up animals' habitations, messing up your drinking water, you know, your clean water. Or if you set up a factory, there'll be all kinds of fumes and chemicals they'll be letting off in the air, toxins and all that, poisoning people's air, you know, airspace. He's the devil, man. And he's all about that capitalist. The capitalists are all about the dollar, you know, making that dollar. So they don't know how to rule in harmony with the earth. Fracking the waters, fucking up the tectonic plates, all because they're digging for oil. Now, you don't have to do all that, man. There's ways of doing things. And everything's ordained in the scriptures. There's an order to doing things, man. We're going to do that in the Lord's kingdom. But very soon. Sooner rather than later. Look, we ain't got years left, man. We got months to years left. We got 6 months to a year and change, man. You know? Not saying that we know the day and the time and the hour, but we're in that time, man. There's no more years. There's not going to be no 2030 and we're still here prophesying. I don't see that happening, man. If we are, we are. But me personally and speaking as a man, 2030 is too far away, man. Another 4 years. Nah, man. The Lord is not going to let us stay here for another 4 years for the mark of the beast to be mandated, man. 2030 and all that. That's what these devils hope. But their thing is that their houses shall continue forever. The end will. But the Lord said he's going to cut the time short for the elect's sake. So yeah, they got visions for 2030, but the Lord could cut this in the next year, 2027. The Lord said he's going to cut the time short, man, for the elect's sake. So Esau ain't got all the time in the world no more. That's why they have to fast track and push for the mark of the beast. They have to advertise it and promote it more and more, you know. Get Jake used to using biometrics and, you know, different forms of electronic identity. You know, trying to get people to buy them electronic cars and all that, electric EVs and all that. Trying to get people used to, you know, this new technocratic system that they're saying of surveillance. That's basically the best way to put it. The technocratic surveillance society of tracking and tracing. That's what these devils want. Ultimate control, ultimate possession over your life, over what you so-called own, which you don't own nothing. Even your house you don't own, your car you don't own. You know? Even your children don't even belong to you really. They belong to the wicked elite. Because then when your children are birthed, you have the adhesion contracts and all that, you know, which the birth certificate is printed on a fucking banknote, showing you that you're a commodity of the bankers, man. You're a receipt. Every baby that's born into society is basically a receipt purchase of a wicked elite. Straw man, cargo, basically. Stock. Yeah, you're a company. You're stock. You're trading on the market. And that's nothing new because when we was in slavery, we was commodities back then, stocks and bonds. Literally stocks and bonds, man. We was trading on the markets back then. That's how the whole stock market was invented through slavery. People just forgot it over time. So anyway, last couple of weeks.
I got something. Yeah. This is Job chapter 20 and verse 15. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again.
Yeah, all that gold and everything these devils are stolen. You got King Charles sitting there with a big crown and jewels on his damn head, on his noggin. Talking about here, we need to initiate digital IDs. Damn devil. That big ass crown on your head. Probably weighs more than your whole body put together, man. He's looking feeble as all hell, but all got all the jewels. With the crown caught on his ass, man. That just shows you Esau is not meant for no kingly type. He don't look like a damn king. You can have all the regalia and all that gold and all that silk, gems and all these stones, and he still looks like a fucking Neanderthal, man. Still look like a cave monkey. Just a rich cave monkey, that's all. It doesn't suit him, man. But you put Jake in that regalia, Jake just looks blinging. Just blinging out, man. The spirit's emanating. The aura just emanate different power, you know? Regal, royal. Showing you Esau is just a fucking peasant, man. He's the evil troll, man. He's a low life.
Yeah, I'm going to jump down to verse 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits.
Yeah, in the fullness of your sufficiency. So when you're about to declare and mandate, everyone come and register for your biometric device by so-and-so date, it's a new world order. That's when the Lord's going to be like, all right, cool, now it's time. You know, just hasten the time even more. Time's going to move in even that much faster, that much quicker. And before you know it, nukes are going to be flying. You're going to see breaking news. Russia has just sent nuclear missiles to attack America. You know? What do they call it? What's that term I always say? DEFCON 1. Yeah, it's America. DEFCON 1. Meaning there's a missiles that's coming to your land and you can't stop it from touching the fucking your country. You've got DEFCON 5 all the way to 1. And DEFCON 2 and 1 basically means get ready for impact, man. That's what's going to be happening. One day. One precious day, man. Yeah, 1 hour. One day it's going to happen, man. Breaking news. And all you're going to see is this bare warheads flying towards America. Babylon the Great. And that's when you're going to see here brothers chanting Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai's name to the heavens like never before, man. Praying that the Lord deliver us, man. You know, before the missiles hit. Abaratazar, man. Part of the elect. And that'll be a beautiful sight to see, man. That's what basically we're all living for. To make it to the end, to see Esau get his just dues, man. See America get burnt. That's a blessing in itself.
Yeah, only with thine eyes shall I see the reward of the wicked.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like
That's a blessing, man. Yeah. See America get burnt, man. See the last prophecy of the Lord on this side of things being fulfilled. I mean, all the prophecies of the book of Revelation from, you know, regarding this kingdom and this empire finally coming to an end before the kingdom starts. Revelation 21 and 1. You know? Go ahead.
That's right. It says, it says in verse 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Yeah, so when you're thinking that, just like Nebuchadnezzar was there chilling, or was it Belshazzar, was chilling in the temple, you know, thinking everything was sweet. When his Belshazzar, when his last day, was eating sumptuously and that with him and his men, eating out of the temple, the things out of the temple, damn thief that he is. And then the Lord had the writing on the wall. And little did they know that was going to be their last meal that night. They was going to get overtaken by the Medo-Persians, man. By Darius and them. It was going to get besieged. And that's what the Lord's going to do to America. All of a sudden, they're going to be sumptuously eating their last meal, meaning saying that the New World Order's finally been accomplished. They put the final capstone on the pyramid, all seeing eye and all that. The Nua Coeptus, Nuos Orvo Seclorium, as it says on the $1 bill. But then all of a sudden, fire's going to come out of nowhere and flame that shit. Engulf that shit, man. Burn that shit to asunder. That's just going to be the end of your society. And the beginning of your woes, man, because you got 1,000 years of hardcore slavery starting with your wicked elite that you got to go through. And vocab, you're going to be there too. Even if you die on this side, you're going to be reborn into captivity in the kingdom, man. And we're going to remember you. Don't think we're going to forget who you are. Even in the kingdom, man, we're going to be, oh, that's vocab. Get him. You can get him first, man. You know? First dibs. Don't put you devils to work, man.
Definitely.
Ain't gonna be no. Esau's not gonna have a happy, a good time in the kingdom. Ain't gonna be no easy days for you, man. You're gonna know what slavery's all about. You know?
Ain't gonna be no easy day.
No way, man. You better enjoy the shit while it lasts now. You better black out all them cards, all them max out all them black cards, all them cards, all of that. It's alright, mate. You know? Enjoy it while it lasts, man, because in the kingdom, you ain't gonna have none of that. It's alright, man. It's alright.
He's alright.
We get a lot of dogs. We get a lot of dogs, you know. They're our friends too. They're our friends too, you know. See, he wants to stay.
He's trying to chill.
He knows, man. The kingdom's coming. Say, look, man, these are Israelites. Yeah, see you later, man. Say, look, man, these are Israelites.
Just came in Shalom, the
Yeah,
Akim.
it's like, Shalom. The Akims.
Did it?
Yeah, man.
Trying to tell his master, but he's not listening. If he could speak, you tell him. These are the Israelites, man.
Real shit. Real shit. Yeah, man.
Yep. I read.
We're going to be at peace with the animals too. Tells you
yeah.
we're going to be at peace with the beasts of the field, man. Animals just like they come up to us and start, you know, jumping on us, want hugs and all that stuff, cuddles. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom, man. We're going to have pet tigers, lions, as big as fuck.
Yeah, the dread of us is gonna be back on animals.
Yeah, man. They're going to be our, you know, our right hand man, basically.
Yeah.
Our buddies, man.
Sure.
Protecting us,
That's it.
protecting our children. But even though they don't need protection, but they're just going to be there just to play, you know, play with our kids and that, man. And they're going to become more, you know, carnivore, like herbivore types, you know, again, more eating more vegetation and all that. We're not going to be on this carnivore type spirit no more, really. Animals are really going to be on some herbivore type shit, you know, eating the herbs.
That's it. Yeah.
You're going to see the lion attacking no sheep, you know, all that madness. Animals are going to be at peace, man.
Bloodthirsty.
Yeah. They're like that because Esau's ruling the earth. They're bloodthirsty and carnivorish, carnal because of Esau. And when we get back into power, they're going to be at peace with even other animals, man. Even the hyenas are going to be chilling with lions. And they're like, on this side of the earth, they're like the worst natural-born enemies, hyenas and lions, man. They're like natural-born enemies, man. When you watch the wildlife programs, they show you, man. They even say it. Like, number one enemy between lion and hyenas, man. It's an ongoing dispute they've always had.
Okay.
They are liking our people unto lions, as the scripture says. I was trying to conquer the land of Judah. They're going to liken Esau unto a damn hyena.
Precept.
Uh,
It says Isaiah 11 and verse 6. It says, I'll start from 5. It says, and righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness of the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb,
yeah.
and the leopard shall lie down with the kid,
Yeah,
and the
it's
calf.
It's usually the wolf would attack was it a lamb? The wolf would attack a sheep, you know? You start seeing all hair flying everywhere, blood, all that, you know? Tearing it to shreds because it's hungry. But in the kingdom, the wolf's going to be chilling with a lamb, man. They're going to be best of friends. You know?
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid,
Yeah.
And the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Yeah, so it's going to be a total harmonious society, man, even in the animal kingdom. Like a lion's king, but in a righteous state. Jungle book, all of that good stuff, man.
Yeah,
You know? Peaceful.
yeah. Dr. Doolittle's.
Yeah, women like Dr. Doolittle. You know, he sort of likens himself onto Tarzan.
Yeah.
But we're going to be like Dr. Doolittle.
It says, and the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and
So the lion's going to eat straw like the ox. Meaning it's going to be eating it's going to be a herbivore all over again. It's going to be eating herbs, plants, vegetation, you know, fruits and all that. Go ahead.
and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den.
Yeah, playing with snakes and all of that. Even the most poisonous snakes. The children are able to play with them and nothing will happen to them. You know? They're not going to get bitten. Playing with a fucking anaconda. And it's just going to be like a, you know, they're just going to be playing with each other. The anaconda's not going to try to eat them.
Yeah, pet animals.
Yeah, pythons, all them different type of snakes.
Yeah. The,
Imagine that.
the dreaded man's gonna be up on the animals again.
Yeah, like Noah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it says they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain.
Yes, and they're not going to touch no Israelites. Even an Israelite baby, a suckling baby. They're not even going to look at them as an enemy or want to eat them or anything like that. It's not going to come into their mind. They'll be under a different type of spirit. Go ahead.
For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, as the waters cover the sea.
So that's when the earth is going to be the total harmonious utopia, man. Meaning a good place. Peace, I done. Place of pleasure and paradise. For Yasha Allah, man, for Israel. For the mountain of the Lord's people, which is Israel, man. For everyone else, the other nations, we're going to be a terror unto them, man. And rightfully so. That was the scripture I was going to say. Is I think it's in Leviticus that none of the other nations shall make thee afraid anymore. It tells you that.
You leave your house, throw curses. You leave your house, throw out curses consistently before you go to bed, man. That the Lord Jehovah
Curses and prayers,
in the
man.
kingdom,
Yeah,
man.
and pray as
Lord,
well.
take care of you, have mercy upon you.
Yeah.
You know, can shield you, man. You know, Safaya,
Okay.
Safar means to protect, you know.
Okay.
Par means to heal.
Right, boss, man. Right,
Heal
as well.
brothers' infirmities and all that. If brothers are going through stuff. But really just to protect us, man.
Yeah.
Because the days of evil are at hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to get worse, man, before it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, bittersweet end, as
That's
they
right.
say. Yeah, man, so with that, we're going to close up. Our Razah, we'll catch you brothers next week. We will praises and glory to
Yeah.
Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai
Ba'asham
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 Inshallah,
Ba'asham
the hope is
Ba'asham Ba'asham